Chapter 61, Chapter 60, Disaster in the Watchless Ben Universe. Is the multiverse war coming? No. No. I've become stronger. I won't lose again. Kevin screamed in denial, lightning bursting wildly from his hands and slamming into Metalman. But the golden Metalman didn't even bother to dodge. Instead, he absorbed every volt of energy Kevin unleashed, drinking it in like a bottomless pit. Not only did he resemble his alien namesake, his body also began to grow, bulking up into a colossal, metallic form. He looked even more terrifying than the original Metalman. Huff, huff, huff. A few minutes later, Kevin stood frozen, gasping for breath, his face pale with exhaustion. How is he this strong? He muttered in disbelief. Kevin. The towering Metalman grinned, his voice deep and metallic. You're going to prison this time. Guess that means prison. You ready for that? Boom. He extended his massive hand, grabbed Kevin like a toy, and squeezed lightly. Kevin's body trembled violently as pain flooded every nerve. He couldn't even move. Ding. Mission complete. Reward, 30 system points earned. Metalman smiled faintly. System, how many points do I have now? Host currently possesses 210 reward points. Ethan sighed contentedly and loosened his grip. Kevin collapsed onto the ground, trembling. The Metalman turned and walked away without even looking back. Kevin clenched his fists as tears welled in his eyes, humiliated and broken. Ethan, remember this. Next time, I won't lose. I'll become 100 times stronger. He swore silently through gritted teeth. Outside the power plant, Metalman encountered Steve, who looked both nervous and relieved. Commander Ethan, Steve said respectfully, lowering his head. I'm sorry I slowed down the rescue operation. I'll take full responsibility and contact the plumbers to transfer Kevin to prison. I'll leave that to you, Metalman replied simply, then walked toward the RV. He reverted to human form, stepped inside, and sat down calmly. After rescuing everyone, XLR-8 returned to the vehicle as well. The team quietly left the scene, keeping their heroics hidden. Steve watched the RV disappear down the road, his eyes thoughtful. They say plumbers are different, he murmured. But you really can't judge a hero by appearance. Later that night. Time flew by, and soon it was midnight again. Ding! The elemental template duration has expired. Would you like to permanently store it in your ability pool? Ethan responded instantly, no. The elemental Metalman was powerful, but it was too balanced, no true broken ability like Alien X or Error X. At this point, what Ethan lacked most, was a watch worth playing with. Draw today's template. Ding! Congratulations, host! You've received a new Omnitrix template. Template acquired, Watchless Ben template. Watchless Ben template. The origin of all Bens believed to be the ancestor of every Ben 10 variant. The source of all transformations and the embodiment of chaos. Temporarily grants the host the powers of Watchless Ben. Ethan blinked. Wait, Watchless? What do you mean? Where's the Omnitrix? Ding! It's the Watchless Ben template. No Omnitrix included. Ethan stared blankly, then chuckled helplessly. Ha, ha, very funny, system. A Ben 10 without a watch? That's your sense of humor, hey. Ding! Confirmed. Ethan groaned, rubbing his forehead. Fine, I'll take the Love the Watch upgrade again. Ding! Congratulations, host! You've successfully reacquired the Omnitrix template. A familiar green glow appeared on his wrist once more. Ethan smiled faintly. All right. Time to train again. As he leaned back in his seat, he wondered. Was this Watchless Ben universe the main universe now? Was this where the next chapter of his story would begin? With those thoughts swirling in his head, Ethan slowly drifted into sleep. Meanwhile, Somewhere else in the multiverse, a vast, barren wasteland stretched endlessly across the horizon. Dr. Paradox stood silently, his cane in hand, expression grave. Ben 10 of this universe has vanished. He traced a glowing circle in the air with his cane, opening a swirling time portal, and stepped through. He began traveling across countless universes. Albedo Universe. In Albedo's private lab, Paradox looked around, frowning deeply. Albedo's gone too. Negative Ben Universe. Empty. Evil Ben Universe. Crowds of aliens were celebrating victory, then suddenly vanished into thin air. Hidden in the shadows, Dr. Paradox observed silently. Zombie Ben Universe. Everywhere he looked, the same result: each version of Ben had disappeared. Finally, he arrived in a distorted dimensional space. 5 versions of Ben, all gone, he muttered. And they were all corrupted versions. His tone hardened. This isn't coincidence. It's Ian. He's moving again. He walked further into the void until he reached the edge of a familiar reality. Ripples formed in the air before him. Something's wrong with this universe, Paradox murmured as he stepped through. It's not corrupted, it's been invaded. He recognized it instantly: Bellwood, Ethan's universe. If Ian's leading all the evil Bens here. He tightened his grip on his cane. Then this could spark a multiverse war. I need a capable person to investigate. 3 figures came to his mind. Ben Prime, the hero of the main universe. Ben Fusion, wielder of the Fusion Omnitrix. And lastly, Ethan, the unpredictable powerhouse. Paradox frowned. Ben Prime's busy. Fusion Ben's stretched thin, but Ethan. He hesitated. If Ian's gathering every dark version, I might have no choice. After all, when it came to raw power, no one rivaled Ethan. Back in Ethan's universe, morning sunlight streamed through the RV window. Ethan yawned, stretched, and stumbled into the bathroom to wash up. After a moment, he opened the door to get some air. Morning, Ethan. Leaning casually against the RV was Dr. Paradox, his usual smirk in place. Holy! Ethan jumped, nearly tripping. Dr. Paradox. Ever heard of knocking? The situation's urgent, Paradox said seriously. I need you for something big. Ethan raised an eyebrow. How big? Paradox looked him dead in the eye. Multiverse level big. He paused dramatically. I need you to investigate and stop a possible multiverse disaster right now. Author's note: new Patreon tier, Story Seeker, 18+. I've added a new Patreon tier called Story Seeker, 18+. This tier is intended for adult readers, 18+, and includes mature themes and smut content. Please join only if you enjoy this type of material. What this tier includes: everything from the lower tiers. Access to the same fanfics and original novels. Exclusive 18+ smut chapters available only here. If you're looking for more mature content and exclusive adult chapters, this tier is for you. Hand pointing right, join here, patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. As a bonus, I've also uploaded a free fanfic for this month today for all readers to enjoy. Thank you for your continued support. Blue Heart. Chapter 62, Chapter 61, Ethan's combat power increases again, descending into the Ben without the Omnitrix universe. So, you suspect Ian gathered the evil Bens, and they might be causing trouble in some universe. After hearing the whole story, Ethan stroked his chin, his heart surging with excitement. There was no doubt about it. He had stumbled straight into a multiverse war. That one. The legendary storyline where Vilgax backstabbed Ian, detonated a time bomb that wiped out countless timelines. Only for Ben without the Omnitrix to reverse everything, rebuild reality, and become the progenitor of shapeshifters. Coming? Dr. Paradox asked. Ethan's smile faded. He lowered his hand and answered decisively, "Dr. Paradox, there's no need to ask. Of course I'm coming for something like this." He wanted to participate in the multiverse war. Meeting different versions of Ben and earning a massive amount of reward points was more than enough motivation. "What I need to do first is kill Vilgax," Ethan said coldly. "Then I'll deal with the rest of the evil Bens one by one. Let's do it." He slammed his fist into his palm, making his resolve clear. What decision did Ethan make? Dr. Paradox watched with unease. A decision to save people. Ethan returned to the car and explained everything truthfully to Grandpa Max. After digesting the information, Grandpa Max left together with Dr. Paradox. "Saving the multiverse, hey?" Grandpa Max murmured. "If it were anyone else, I'd say they were overestimating themselves. But with you, it actually sounds reasonable." His final evaluation of Ethan was simple. Invincible. Inside the bizarre time-space tunnel. "Hey, Ethan." A young man with short brown hair, a sunny face, and a green sports jacket extended his hand. "I'm Ben Tennyson. The doctor told me about you." "Nice to meet you, Ben Tennyson." Ethan smiled faintly and shook his hand. "Whoa, your watch is pink." Ben blurted out. "That's kinda girly, but somehow, you still look super reliable." Ethan replied calmly, "It's called manly pink." Dr. Paradox led the two forward through the time-space tunnel, heading toward the Ben without the Omnitrix universe. Ben tried to strike up a conversation with Ethan, but after a while, Ethan barely responded. Left with no choice, Ben turned to chat with Dr. Paradox instead. As for Ethan, he silently spoke in his mind. "System, open them all." A massive virtual screen appeared before his eyes. Items. Skills. Genes. Select items. There was no hesitation. He needed to raise his combat power drastically to ensure he could control the upcoming chaos. It was time to spend reward points. His gaze swept across countless items. When he reached the bottom, the interface automatically scrolled. Giant combat robots. Eldritch god swords. One outrageously expensive weapon after another. Finally, his eyes locked onto a single entry. The interface stopped. Specialized prototype tool. Price, 100 points. A prototype weapon created by Azimuth. It could automatically transform into various weapons or even mechanical devices based on the user's thoughts. Its hardness and functionality were immeasurable. Ethan frowned slightly. "System, is there anything special about your version? If not, I can just borrow one from the Ben without the Omnitrix universe." Ding! The system-issued specialized prototype tool possesses a self-repair function. Even if damaged in battle, it will slowly restore itself. Additionally, it only recognizes the host. Self-repair. Exclusive recognition. That meant near infinite durability. I'll take it. Ding! Purchase successful. 100 reward points consumed. Whoosh! A deep white laser pistol materialized in Ethan's palm, engraved with a DNA-patterned design. He gripped it tightly and continued, "Open the skill section." Countless skills appeared. Vilgax's extreme training method. Introduction to black magic. Prototype tool encyclopedia price, 20 points. Buy it. Ding! Purchase successful. 20 reward points consumed. In an instant, vast amounts of knowledge flooded Ethan's mind. His gaze sharpened as a faint connection formed between him and the prototype tool. Click! Click! Crisp mechanical sounds echoed. Dr. Paradox and Ben stopped walking and turned around. Ethan stood calmly, the love watch on his right wrist, deep white mechanical gloves covering both hands. He smiled and spread his palms. "Something wrong?" "That's a prototype tool," Ben exclaimed. "Holy crap, that's awesome!" Dr. Paradox stared as if he'd seen a ghost. I thought only Rook had the intellect to use this thing. Ethan didn't even have a prototype tool the last time they met. Which meant he had grown stronger again. Arrival. The three continued forward. Ethan clenched his mechanical fists, excitement slowly igniting in his eyes. He feared no one. Open personal panel. Host, Ethan. Physique, Earthling's limit level. Spirit, beyond ordinary human strength. Genes, Earthling genes, partial alien DNA resistance. Skills, human comprehensive combat techniques, firearms aiming, prototype tool encyclopedia. Ability pool, original Omnitrix, max level edition, Love Watch, advanced version. Reward points, 90. After finishing his review, Dr. Paradox stopped and crouched before a spatial distortion. We're here. Crack. With a wave of his staff, space tore open into a portal. The three stepped through. They emerged atop a tall building. Despite the night sky, much of Bellwood was clearly visible below. Boom! Boom! Loud explosions echoed from a distant street. What's going on over there? Ethan asked. Below. Huge figures were chasing a young man. This is the worst luck ever. Ben without the Omnitrix shouted while running desperately. Why am I running into this many monsters? Behind him. A blood-red ultimate humungosaur roared. Shock Rock advanced, unleashing arcs of electricity. One evil Ben after another joined the pursuit. Not good. Dr. Paradox exclaimed. I'll teleport you into the alley, save that Ben first. Before he could finish. Click. Ethan's gloves folded back, spreading across his shoulders and transforming into mechanical wings, sharp and sleek like a falcon's gear. He leapt from the rooftop. His body shot forward through the air. No need. I'll go first. His voice echoed through the night. That's insane. Ben swallowed hard. That's even crazier than Rook. Dr. Paradox took a deep breath. Ethan. You're here to save people, not massacre them. Remember that. Because right now, it really looked like Ethan was about to wipe out the opposition. The reason I chose this timing for the multiverse war is because, in the original series, this episode already involves Ben traveling to a parallel universe. Since that's the case, I decided to fully launch the multiverse war here. If you enjoy war arcs, please send more support. Author's note. Sorry for not uploading chapters regularly. I'm currently studying for my semester exams, so chapter upload times may vary for now. From next month onward, chapters will be uploaded on time. Thank you for your patience and support. Chapter 63, Chapter 62, The Strongest Shapeshifter, Ethan? Even Ian was defeated. Ethan soared through the air in his wingsuit, enjoying the violent, unrestrained wind rushing past him. His features were slightly disheveled, but his expression was filled with excitement. Let's just have a decisive battle. Right now. Right here. End everything in one go. As he descended, Ethan tapped the screen of his Love Watch, scanning for the target's location. Ding! Mission issued, save the unlucky Ben without the Omnitrix. Mission content, Ben without the Omnitrix, despite lacking an Omnitrix, is being relentlessly hunted by evil Bens who possess Omnitrixes. Please rescue him. Mission reward, 10 reward points. Ethan stopped fiddling with the screen. His expression hardened. I already promised Dr. Paradox, he growled. A man keeps his word. Whoosh! The wingsuit accelerated violently as Ethan plunged straight into an alley. Inside the alley. Don't run, kid. The ultimate humungosaur blocked the exit, crimson eyes locked onto Ben without the Omnitrix as it let out a thunderous roar. Ah! Ben screamed and spun around, only to find his path blocked again. Zzzzz. A figure wrapped in crackling electricity stepped forward. Shock Rock appeared at the entrance, staring at Ben with a cruel grin. Hee, stay right here. What do I do, what do I do? Ben backed against the wall, despair written all over his face. Bang! Bang! The two monsters squeezed into the narrow alley, closing in. Ben's mind raced wildly. He absolutely couldn't give up. And then, his eyes flickered. A shadow descended from above. Whoosh! Bang! Ethan slammed down from the sky. The wingsuit flared upward at the last second, dispersing the impact as he landed cleanly. He immediately reached out his hand toward Ben, his voice firm and unquestionable. Come with me. Bang! Ben grabbed his hand. Crack! The wingsuit on Ethan's back rapidly transformed, reshaping itself into a golden rocket backpack. Flames erupted. The powerful thrust carried both of them straight into the air. Bang! A split second later, Ultimate Humungosaur and Shock Rock charged in, missing them by inches. They could only stare furiously at Ethan disappearing into the night sky. Who the hell was this guy? Midair. Ben clung tightly to Ethan's wrists, refusing to look down. Why are you some kind of superhero? He stammered. Like a Kamen Rider or something. Some people call me that, Ethan replied calmly. The rocket backpack folded back, transforming once more into a wingsuit. Their ascent slowed, turning into steady flight. Crisis temporarily averted. Wait! Ben suddenly shouted. You've gotta watch too. You're with them. Seeing the love watch, Ben panicked again. Ethan's expression turned cold. Don't move. Don't ask questions, he said sharply. Or I'll drop you. Got it? Why yes. I got it. Ben's face went pale. The system notification came late. Only after Ethan flew far outside Bellwood and landed in an abandoned town did it finally sound. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the mission. Host has gained 10 reward points. Ethan's face darkened. TCH, sneaky bastard of a system. He muttered. Waited until I flew this far before telling me. If he'd known earlier, he would have dropped Ben and gone straight back to fight. Whoosh! A figure swung down on a web. Spider Monkey landed lightly, looking at Ethan with a grin. Ethan, you really are reliable. Of course. Ethan was about to respond. Ah! Ben without the Omnitrix screamed like a dying pig. He turned to run again only to smash straight into a portal. Portal opens. Dr. Paradox stepped out calmly. Don't be nervous. We're here to help. He paused. Wait. You don't have an Omnitrix. His eyes locked onto Ben's empty wrist. Click. Ben Tennyson deactivated Spider Monkey and walked over, equally stunned. The two began questioning Ben without the Omnitrix, explaining the Omnitrix, alternate selves, and the existence of the multiverse. Ethan already knew all of this. He stood off to the side, alert. So, multiverse, countless versions of me. Ben without the Omnitrix suddenly snapped his head toward Ethan and pointed. Then what about him? He's not even me. What is going on anymore? I seriously can't process this. He's special, Dr. Paradox said simply. Then his expression turned grave. I understand now. Ian and his group are targeting timelines without an Omnitrix. I'll go gather reinforcements. You two stay here. Better hurry, Ethan said casually. If you're late, I might slaughter everyone on the other side. Dr. Paradox's face twitched. His gaze unconsciously fell on Ethan's wrist. A pink Omnitrix? What kind of terrifying device was that? With that thought lingering, he opened a portal and left. Ethan crossed his arms. Ben without the Omnitrix, he said flatly. From now on, you stick with us. No running off. I don't think I have the right to refuse. Ben muttered bleakly. You're not going anywhere. A tall, armored figure stepped forward. A masked hunter. A laser blade snapped out from his right wrist guard. An alien grenade appeared in his left hand. Ian. Ding. Mission issued, Ian, instigator of the multiverse war. Mission content: Ian has wreaked havoc across multiple universes. Defeat him. Mission reward: 20 reward points. Ethan's eyes lit up. So it's you. Ethan, Ben, go. Ben Tennyson shouted as he transformed into 4 arms. I'll hold him. Ian slashed forward, his blade colliding violently with 4 arms' claws. He glanced sideways at Ethan and Ben without the Omnitrix, laughing wildly. Ha ha ha. A Ben without an Omnitrix and a new face with pink watch. I really hit the jackpot today. So scary. Ethan, let's run. Ben without the Omnitrix tugged desperately at Ethan's sleeve. Run. Ethan calmly placed a hand on the wingsuit. In my dictionary, he said coldly, there is no such word as retreat. Crack. The wingsuit detached and wrapped around his wrist, rapidly deforming. Clang clang bang. Ian forced 4 arms back, completely suppressing him. Die. As he swung again, Ian hurled the alien grenade. Whoosh. An orange alien whip shot out, wrapping around the grenade midair. And snapping it straight back. Boom. The explosion blasted Ian into the ground. Smoke surged. Bang. 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 Ethan emerged slowly from the smoke, the alien whip in his hand. Crack. The whip transformed into an alien chain, snapping tight around Ian's neck. Hey! There are 3 of us. Where did you get the courage to attack us? Ethan leaned forward slightly, smiling faintly, his eyes ice cold. Cough cough. Ian clawed at the chain, choking. Reflected in his pupils was Ethan's figure. Ethan standing like a demon god. Author's note. The fanfic Ben 10, daily check-in system activated. Part 1 is now fully completed. The entire story has been uploaded on Patreon as a dedicated collection. Books Ben 10, Chapters 1-132. Organized into 14 posts, with multiple chapters per post for easy binge reading. Link symbol patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. Thank you all for your continuous support and love for this story, Blue Heart. Chapter 64, Chapter 63, A Multiverse War? Ethan fights 6 alone. Bastard. Cough cough ah. Ian's eyes were bloodshot, his body swaying weakly. He stared viciously at Ethan, rage burning in his gaze. Just loosen it a little. I'll counterattack and chop you into pieces. Crack. Ethan stomped his foot down on Ian's chest and leaned back, yanking hard on the chain. All of his strength poured into it. Pfft. Ian's eyes rolled back, white foam spilling from his mouth. His body twitched a few times. And then went limp. Damn it. I'm suing you for police brutality. Ethan. Ben Tennyson reverted to human form, staring in disbelief. You can fight without transforming? Just like Rook Blanco. Haha, depends on the situation, Ethan replied with a grin. For example, just now, I didn't have time to transform. But charging in blindly wasn't enough. You had to seize the enemy's weakness. And finish it in one move. Like this. Thud. Ian's head slumped to the side. Unconscious. His face was frozen in unwilling defeat. Ethan let out a breath, loosening the chain from his hands and wiping the sweat away. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the mission. Host has received 20 reward points. Ethan's eyes lit up. That feeling of getting something for cheap. Too damn good. This was all thanks to the prototype tool, letting him fight anytime, anywhere. Buying it had been absolutely worth it. Too strong, Ben muttered, taking a deep breath. I'll tie Ian up and hand him over to Dr. Paradox. He transformed into Spider Monkey again, shooting thick strands of webbing. Ian was bound tightly. One strand was passed into Ethan's hand. That way, Ethan could drag him along. Mission accomplished. Ben clapped happily. We can leave now. Gulp. Ben without the Omnitrix swallowed nervously, sneaking glances at Ethan's back. Is he a hero, or a villain? Come on, Ethan smiled lightly. Let's go. Ben without the Omnitrix shuddered but followed. Ethan dragged Ian with one hand and led Ben without the Omnitrix with the other. The abandoned town was eerily silent. Empty streets. They searched for a hiding place. Along the way, Ian woke up. His expression was complicated as he stared at Ethan. But he didn't dare say a word. He was afraid. Then they stopped. At the far end of the street, a towering alien clad in armor, wielding a massive greatsword. Vilgax. His voice was cold and venomous. A new shapeshifter I've never seen before, and you even captured that useless Ian. He glanced at Ian with naked disdain. Ethan secretly rotated the love watch, smiling. Are you alone? Hat. As if. Vilgax sneered. Whoosh. From a nearby house, a small boy with white hair, red eyes, and a red outfit ran out. Albedo glared at Ethan. It's this bastard who ruined our plan. Beat him to death. Whether it's him or some righteous Ben. A figure appeared on the rooftop. Orange-red hair. Muscular build. Sleeveless vest. Mad Ben Tennyson. I'll take them all myself. They're mine. From the alley between two houses, a cold, dark-haired Ben stepped out. Bad Ben. Ah. Behind him came Zombie Ben, pale and lifeless. Humph, interesting. On the steps of another building, a hooded Ben leaned casually, smiling. 5 evil Bens. And Vilgax. 6 boss-level enemies surrounded Ethan and the others. This is bad. Ben muttered. Ethan remained calm, rotating the love watch to upgrade. Don't move, kid. Vilgax raised his greatsword, aiming it straight at Ethan's head. If you press it, I'll chop you in half. Ethan froze. Ha, scared shitless already. Not letting him transform is kinda cruel, hey. But we're villains. Bad Ben and Nega Ben laughed cruelly. To them, Ethan was prey. Bang bang bang. Suddenly, Ethan stabbed the love watch screen repeatedly. He raised his middle finger as pink light exploded around him. Idiot. Try chopping. Everyone froze. Vilgax. The evil Bens. Even Ben. Who the hell dared transform with a blade at their neck? They didn't know. Touching Ethan triggered absolute master protection mode. Ethan. Transformer Girl, upgrade, emerged in pink light, instantly wrapping around the love watch. DNA armor formed across Ethan's body. Even the prototype tool was enhanced. At the same time. Bang bang bang. Albedo slammed the Ultimatrix. Blood-red light erupted. Ultimate Spider Monkey roared into existence. Nega Ben transformed into Gutrot, toxic gas flooding the area. Zombie Ben became Snarrow. Mad Ben transformed into Wrath. Finally, Bad Ben slammed his watch. He became Gravitack. Bluish-green. Overflowing with malice. You're finished. Vilgax advanced with his greatsword. The monsters closed in. Dr. Paradox still hadn't returned. Ben raised his wrist. Ethan will fight to the death. You take Ben without the Omnitrix and leave. Ethan raised a hand, stopping him. I'll hold them. 1 against 6. Understood. Understood my ass. Ben panicked. Bro, I know you're strong. But 1 versus 6. Ben without the Omnitrix's face went pale. He's gone insane. Ha 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 ha. Vilgax and the evil Bens burst into laughter. 1 against 6? Was this guy drunk? Click. The prototype tool shifted onto Ethan's back, becoming a rocket backpack. With Transformer Girl's enhancement. Boom. Flames erupted. Ethan didn't retreat. He charged straight at them. His right arm extended, fist tightening. Asking for death. Then die together, idiot. Gravity surged. Poison gas spread. Vilgax's blade swung. They rushed him. Boom. DNA erupted from Ethan's fist, condensing into a colossal arm. Borrowing way big's power. With rocket propulsion and monstrous force. The punch became a meteor. Boom boom boom. The entire street collapsed. Vilgax. Gravitack. All of them. Blown away in every direction. Ethan wasn't bluffing. He really was fighting 6 alone. Author's note. The fanfic Ben 10, daily check-in system activated. Part 1 is now fully completed. The entire story has been uploaded on Patreon as a dedicated collection. Books Ben 10, Chapters 1-132. Organized into 14 posts, with multiple chapters per post for easy binge reading. Link symbol patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. Thank you all for your continuous support and love for this story Blue Heart. Chapter 65, Chapter 64, Ethan's Extreme 1-on-6. The philosophy of a true all-rounder. Ethan, be careful. Ben Tennyson gritted his teeth. Grabbing Ben without the Omnitrix and the bound Ian, he turned and ran straight out. Ethan stayed behind alone, covering their retreat. Boom. Boom. Gravitack, Snarrow, Vilgax, 6 enemies were blasted in different directions, smashing violently into the surroundings. Ding. Mission issued, host kill 6 at once. Mission content, as the name suggests, the host must defeat 6 enemies simultaneously, fighting alone. Mission reward, 200 reward points. Kill 6 at once? Impossible. All he could do was delay. Concentrate way big's power into my legs. Ethan roared. The massive arm of DNA retracted as his legs rapidly expanded, growing gigantic. He leapt over 20 meters into the air. Bang! 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 He raised one colossal foot and stomped down violently toward Gravitack. Shit! This lunatic! Gravitack twisted space with gravity, narrowly avoiding the stomp. Die! Ultimate Spider Monkey swung forward on webs, his huge body charging straight toward Ben without the Omnitrix in the distance. I said I'm taking on all 6. No one is leaving. Ethan suddenly kicked hard at the rubble beneath him. The debris shot forward like cannonballs. Ultimate Spider Monkey's expression changed instantly. Forced to stop, he desperately dodged the flying wreckage. Then, Ethan continued stomping. One step after another. Vilgax. Snarrow. Gutrot. Wrath. All of them were chased and crushed like ants under a giant's feet. Enough. Gravitack roared in fury, rising into the air. Both hands lifted. A crushing gravitational force locked directly onto Ethan. So heavy. Ethan's body sank violently, smashing into the ground and carving out a massive crater. The next instant, Snarrow hurled bandages. Ultimate Spider Monkey fired webs. They wrapped around Ethan's body, binding him completely. Seeing the opening, Gutrot released an overwhelming cloud of toxic gas, flooding toward Ethan. Go to hell! Vilgax clenched his greatsword, shouting hysterically. Even an immortal wouldn't survive this. Whoosh! Green light flashed. Ethan's massive legs retracted, his body shrinking rapidly as he growled. Transformer girl, upgrade, use Ghost Freak's abilities. Ethan. Transformer girl's voice sounded gently in his mind. You can communicate mentally. You don't need to shout. Ethan's face darkened. Damn it, why didn't you say that earlier? Whoosh. A grey spectral cloak formed over him. Tentacles emerged. Ethan phased instantly, passing through the bandages, the webs, and the poisonous gas. Bang! 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 Gravitak and the others continued bombarding the original spot, unaware he was already gone. Then, above them, a foul smell spread. Ethan hovered in mid-air. Armored wings beat behind him. His right arm reshaped into goop-like slime jets, while his left arm transformed into a prototype tool flamethrower. Explosion time! Now! Slime blasted out. Flames roared. The two elements collided. Rumble! A violent explosion tore through the battlefield. Vilgax was blasted away mid-stride. Wrath was sent tumbling, his fur nearly burned off. Snarrow and Ultimate Spider Monkey took the explosion head-on, unable to retreat in time. Shit! They were actually being suppressed. Using Ghost Freak's phasing combined with the prototype tool, Ethan was overpowering them. Whoosh! Gravitak shot upward, furious, dodging wildly. He raised both hands. A mountain-crushing gravity slammed down on Ethan. Ethan's body was yanked from the sky and smashed into a distant street. Another massive crater forming. He's copying multiple DNA abilities at once. Gravitak shouted. Everyone be careful. Before the warning finished, Ethan reappeared. Rollerblades under his feet. A long energy blade in his hand. SHRRK. SHRRK. He flashed across the battlefield at insane speed. Slashes tore through Snarrow, Ultimate Spider Monkey, and Wrath in rapid succession. Damn it! He's too fast, I can't lock on. Gravitak tried to aim. But Ethan was everywhere. Slashing. Weaving. Almost godlike. Bastard, you're forcing my hand. Gutrot roared, releasing toxic gas indiscriminately. Even engulfing his own allies. Cough cough. Negative Ben, I'll effing kill you. Vilgax and Wrath shouted curses in rage. Whoosh. Ethan retreated instantly, escaping the gas cloud and landing in an open area. Now. Gravitak's eyes narrowed. A deep purple gravity bomb condensed between his hands and was hurled forward. That area contained only Ethan. Ethan stopped. He stared at the incoming gravity bomb. A smirk formed. The rollerblades disengaged. DNA on his chest twisted, transforming into a massive mechanical maw. Whoosh! Metallic tongues shot out, catching the gravity bomb mid-air and pulling it inside. Ethan leaned back. The maw swallowed it whole. Shit! The ability of acid breath. Gravitak shouted in shock. Everyone run! Ethan roared. The mechanical maw opened wide. A torrent of compressed energy erupted. Rumble! The blast swallowed most of the town. Vilgax. Wrath. Snarrow. Ultimate Spider Monkey. Even Gravitak in mid-air was engulfed. Cough, cough. Ethan dropped to one knee. The armor peeled away. Transformer girl slid weakly to the side. Ethan, too many transformations, too intense. I need to rest. Ethan gave a bitter smile. Sorry, to cover them, I had no choice. These few minutes, I was fighting with my life. He really had suppressed 6 enemies alone. But smoke cleared. One by one. Gravitak. Gutrot. Vilgax. They emerged, battered but still standing. Damn it! Ethan! We're going to tear you apart. Transformer girl hurried to his side, panicked. Ethan! No need. Ethan forced himself upright, eyes cold. At worst, I trigger protector mode. Let's see who has more backup. Thump. 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 Heavy footsteps echoed from behind. Dr. Paradox. Ethan's eyes lit up as he turned. Instead, Ben Tennyson, transformed into Buzzshock, strode forward, electricity crackling around him. A wild grin on his face. I had been without the Omnitrix hide Ian somewhere safe. Now I'm back. To help you. You can't beat them. Ethan said hoarsely. Ben's expression hardened. A so-called hero is someone who even when they can't win, still chooses to fight. Electricity exploded from Buzzshock's feet as he charged straight at the enemies. Author's note. The fanfic Ben 10, daily check-in system activated. Part 1 is now fully completed. The entire story has been uploaded on Patreon as a dedicated collection. Books Ben 10, Chapters 1-132. Organized into 14 posts, with multiple chapters per post for easy binge reading. Link symbol patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. Thank you all for your continuous support and love for this story Blue Heart. Chapter 66, Chapter 65, The Multiverse War officially begins. Ethan faces off against Vilgax. Bang! Ben Tennyson's Buzzshock form surged with electricity as his fist collided head-on with Wrath's punch. The two stood locked in place, neither giving an inch. At the same time, Snarrow flung out his bandages, lashing them violently toward Buzzshock. Ethan instantly hurled the prototype tool. It transformed midair into a long whip, snapping the bandages aside. Before either of them could breathe. Fall. Gravitack raised both hands. Gravity slammed down with terrifying precision. Bang! Bang! Ethan was smashed into the ground. Buzzshock crashed down beside him. Neither of them could move. Seeing this, Transformer Girl immediately tried to spread over Ethan's body. Don't move! Ultimate Spider Monkey shot out webs, wrapping tightly around Transformer Girl. With a violent pull, he pinned her in place. The situation flipped instantly. Ethan and his allies were completely suppressed by the 6 enemies. I'm taking those damn watches of yours, Vilgax growled, gripping his great sword as he strode forward. I'll cut off every single one. Come for me first. Buzzshock roared, struggling to rise. But Wrath stomped him back down hard. Show some respect to Lord Vilgax. Vilgax raised an eyebrow, glancing at Buzzshock. At that moment, Ethan struggled to lift his right wrist, raising the love watch. Vilgax, you plague-ridden pig, he sneered. If you want to cut something, start with my arm. Or did you forget how badly I beat you earlier? Come on. Cut it. Good, good, good. Vilgax laughed in extreme fury, charging forward. That arm is coming off for sure. He raised his great sword high. I'm sorry, a calm voice interrupted. But for now, you're not touching that arm. A deep blue light burst open, forming a massive door in front of Ethan. Dr. Paradox stepped out confidently. Whoosh! A figure leapt from the portal, soaring into the air like a hero from legend. A middle-aged Ben with stubble and sharp features. He crossed the Omnitrixes on both wrists and roared. 4 arms dragon! A massive crimson fusion alien slammed down, 4 fists crashing into the ground. The shockwave forced Vilgax back. And shoved Gravitack and the others away at the same time. Everyone froze in shock. As an old friend likes to say, Dr. Paradox declared confidently, it's hero time. Another Ben stepped forward, blue-themed, side-swept bangs, wearing a small suit. All right, bad Bens, he said calmly. Time to face the Block's fusion Stachosaurus. He transformed into a towering blue Block-based fusion. Gwen Tennyson followed, transforming into a plant-based alien, vines snapping outward. Not as elegant as the Vine Princess, but no less dangerous. Bang! 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 Four-arms dragon charged first, hammering toward Gravitak and the others. Stachosaurus launched massive blocks, disrupting Gutrot's poisonous gas. Gwen's vines whipped out, pulling Buzzshock to safety. The moment Buzzshock was freed, he surged back into the fight. Only now did the multiverse war officially begin. At first, chaos ruled. But slowly, battle lines formed. Four-arms dragon fought like an army by himself, taking on Gutrot and Ultimate Spider Monkey at the same time. "That kid who fought 1 against 6 earlier, you're damn strong," he shouted mid-battle at Ethan. Buzzshock clashed with Gravitak, electricity colliding with gravity. Justice versus malice. Gwen faced Snarrow, vines against bandages in a deadly control battle. Stachosaurus pressed Gutrot relentlessly. The town began to crumble. Buildings collapsed. The ground shattered. Dr. Paradox walked over and pulled Ethan up. "How is it?" he said calmly. "I told you I'd bring help." "Thank you, Dr. Paradox." Ethan took a deep breath, watching the battlefield. "That's Brother Ben. He uses a fusion omnitrix, terrifying stuff. You've probably never seen it." "Yeah," Ethan replied casually. "I haven't." A complete lie. He'd used fusion countless times himself. "Recover a bit," Dr. Paradox said seriously. "When you rejoin the fight, whoever you assist this war will tip instantly." In his eyes, once Ethan moved again, victory was inevitable. "Actually, Dr. Paradox." Ethan clenched the prototype tool, which reshaped into a wingsuit behind him. "I already know who my opponent is." "Ethan, let's go," Transformer Girl said, merging directly into the wingsuit. This way, she wouldn't overstrain herself protecting the Love Watch. Boom! The wingsuit ignited, blasting Ethan into the night sky. No enemies in the air. Dr. Paradox's pupil shrank. Wait! Where was Vilgax? Elsewhere, an abandoned watchtower. Ben without the Omnitrix sat inside, staring lifelessly at Ian. "I really didn't expect I'd end up guarding you." "Hee, let me out," Ian grinned. "I'll even get you an Omnitrix." "If I agreed," Ben said dryly, arms crossed, "I'd be an idiot." Boom! The door was ripped off its hinges. Vilgax tossed it aside casually. "I finally found you, Ian." "Yes. Kill the kid and get me out," Ian shouted excitedly. Vilgax ignored Ben without the Omnitrix and walked toward Ian. Then, bang! A stone smashed straight into Vilgax's face. Vilgax stopped. Slowly rubbed his cheek. Looked at Ben without the Omnitrix. "Don't underestimate me!" Ben shouted, trembling but standing firm. "Who says Ben Tennyson can't be a hero without that stupid watch?" He knew. People were risking their lives for him. Even Ethan. So he had to matter. At least, he could guard Ian. "I'll make your death slow," Vilgax said coldly. Whoosh bang! Pink light tore through the sky. Ethan descended like a god of war, prototype tool chain snapping around Vilgax's body. He yanked hard. Vilgax was dragged screaming out of the watchtower. "Ethan!" Ben without the Omnitrix stared in disbelief. "Well done," Ethan said calmly. "You bought me a few seconds." He turned toward the furious Vilgax, chains tightening. "Now I'll handle him." The real battle had only just begun. Author's note. The fanfic Ben 10, daily check-in system activated. Part 1 is now fully completed. The entire story has been uploaded on Patreon as a dedicated collection. Books Ben 10, Chapters 1-132. Organized into 14 posts, with multiple chapters per post for easy binge reading. Link symbol patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. Thank you all for your continuous support and love for this story Blue Heart. Chapter 67, Chapter 66, Brutal and Flashy Ethan is truly invincible. Ding! Mission issued, Second Battle with Vilgax. Mission content, you once defeated Vilgax with overwhelming stats. This time can you defeat him again? Can you crush him with pure skill? Mission reward, 30 reward points. TCH. Ethan's lips twitched slightly. Only 30 points, he muttered. Is he really that worthless? Bang! Vilgax staggered to his feet, gripping his long blade tightly. Without a word, he lunged forward, slashing down with everything he had. Ethan's armor shifted instantly. His arms expanded, bulging like steel-forged muscle. And then... Pfft! A second pair of armored arms burst out from his shoulders. Tetra Mand state. Die! Vilgax roared, swinging straight for Ethan's neck. Prototype tool gauntlet mode. All four fists shot forward as the prototype tool wrapped around them, forming massive metallic knuckles. Crack! Four fists collided with the blade. The ground shook. The air exploded outward. The blade shattered on the spot. Damn it! Vilgax snarled, claws extending as he slashed wildly. Ethan raised his elbows and smashed them down mercilessly. Crack! Vilgax screamed. His fingers snapped one by one. Every finger broke in. Next. Boxing. Ethan's expression remained calm as all four fists moved at once. Perfect technique. No wasted motion. Punches hammered Vilgax's face, teeth exploded. His chest ribs shattered. Bone after bone collapsed under the barrage. Vilgax's entire body began to suffer catastrophic fractures. Oh my god! Ben without the Omnitrix stared in disbelief. Is the gap really this big? I thought this would be hard. Ian swallowed nervously. Normally, Vilgax is the final boss. Ben Tennyson gets chased around like prey. But this Ethan, he's not a normal shapeshifter at all. No wonder Dr. Paradox brought him. Maybe his raw strength wasn't as monstrous as Brother Ben's. But his methods? Utterly ruthless. Bang! Ethan unleashed one final four-fist strike. Vilgax was sent flying like trash, crashing hard into the ground far away. His eyes rolled, pain nearly knocking him unconscious. Ah! I hit you too far. Ethan flexed his fists and began walking toward him. I'll come to you instead. Vilgax barely regained consciousness. He saw Ethan approaching. And fear swallowed him whole. Once, he had chased Ben Tennyson like this. Once, he had enjoyed that terror. Now, he was the one being hunted. No. I won't lose. Vilgax screamed, lifting both legs and kicking wildly. Pathetic. Ethan spread his forearms. The prototype tool reshaped into a long staff. He swung. A thunderous staff technique crashed down. Crack! Vilgax's legs shattered. Ah! Vilgax howled in agony, collapsing completely. He couldn't move at all. Good thing, Ian muttered faintly, that I was only captured by this kid back then. If he'd wanted to kill me, I'd be dead. Ben without the Omnitrix turned away, unable to keep watching. Bang! 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 Ethan hacked down mercilessly with the prototype tool blade. Blood sprayed. Bone cracked. The scene was brutal beyond words. Time passed. Vilgax was covered in wounds. Yet his chest still barely rose and fell. He was still clinging to life. Why are you like a cockroach? Ethan frowned. Unkillable. He withdrew the blood-stained prototype tool, breathing heavily. I don't enjoy torturing people. Since that's the case, I'll end it properly. The prototype tool folded onto his back, transforming into a rocket backpack. Flames erupted. Ethan shot into the night sky. Midair. The extra tetra-mand arms dissolved. He abandoned that DNA. Then he flipped downward. A straight dive. His palm extended toward the ground. Vilgax. Have you ever seen a palm strike falling from the sky? As Ethan descended, his hand expanded rapidly, transforming into a colossal way big level palm. A divine crushing force descended. I'm going to die. Vilgax screamed, thrashing desperately. Bang! 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 Palm wind slammed down like artillery, pinning him in place. He couldn't move. Run, run! Ben without the Omnitrix grabbed Ian and sprinted away. Ian ran so fast his legs blurred. Ben Tennyson, move faster. If I have to, I'll carry you. They fled into the distance in total panic. Ethan's ultimate move landed. Rumble. The ground detonated. Ethan's palm smashed Vilgax into fragments and obliterated the earth beneath him. A human-shaped catastrophe. Messy ending, Ethan muttered softly. But I still beat him with skill, right? He looked at his blood-stained palm and sighed. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the mission. Host has gained 30 reward points. A smile slowly spread across Ethan's lips. The giant palm dissolved. Blood dripped onto the ruined ground. Still airborne, Ethan looked back at the abandoned town. It had become rubble. Evil Bens and righteous Bens were still locked in fierce combat. A deadlock. Someone needs to end the multiverse war. Ethan smiled. The rocket backpack ignited. He shot forward. In the distance, Ben without the Omnitrix stared blankly. Did Ethan just slap Vilgax to death? Yeah, Ian replied stiffly. Like swatting a mosquito. He watched Ethan fly back toward the battlefield. Evil Bens. Hold on. Don't die at that monster's hands. Author's note. The fanfic Ben 10, daily check-in system activated. Part 1 is now fully completed. The entire story has been uploaded on Patreon as a dedicated collection. Books Ben 10, Chapters 1-132. Organized into 14 posts, with multiple chapters per post for easy binge reading. Link symbol patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. Thank you all for your continuous support and love for this story Blue Heart. Chapter 68, Chapter 67, The War Between the Bens. Ethan takes on two alone. The abandoned town. No, calling it that was no longer accurate. This place had already been reduced to ruins. Standing far away, Dr. Paradox watched solemnly. Everyone's serious now, he muttered. They're going all out. Bang! Four Arms Dragon swung his fists furiously, smashing them into Gravitack. Gravitack staggered back, his face bruised and swollen, but his eyes burned with defiance. He clenched his fists, gravity surging as he counterattacked with gravity-enhanced punches. Bruises rapidly spread across both of their bodies. Pfft! A terrifying nuclear explosion suddenly erupted from the ground, indiscriminately swallowing both figures. Oh my bad, NRG, transformed by Nega Ben, said lazily. I was aiming for the other guy. With no trace of apology, he condensed nuclear energy in his hands and hurled it toward Buzzshock. Buzzshock dodged again at lightning speed. The nuclear energy detonated, triggering another massive blast. Buzzshock extended both hands, absorbing the nuclear radiation and converting it into electricity. Bang! An electric shockwave collided with NRG's nuclear discharge. The battlefield was flooded with radioactive dust. Even the surrounding vines and bandages began to wither. Roar! A furious roar echoed. Wrath charged in, shouting angrily. Stop making so much noise. You're disturbing Lord Wrath. Awoo! Four arms, transformed by Blue Ben, leapt forward and tackled Wrath head-on. "This is your warning!" Wrath bellowed. "Keep yapping and I'll kill all three of you!" The two beasts exchanged savage punches and grapples. A truly feral battle. Whoosh! Four arms slashed upward, aiming straight for Wrath's eye. Wrath countered instantly, claws tearing toward Four Arms' chest. Both attacks were lethal. Pfft! A vine shot out, blocking Wrath's strike. At the same time, a bandage snapped forward, yanking Four Arms' claw away. Their killing blows interrupted, the two roared and resumed brawling. "Whew, glad you're okay." Gwen Tennyson retracted her vines, staring cautiously at Snarrow. Snarrow sneered, "Let's keep going." Bang! 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 Vines and bandages lashed wildly, tangling and crushing everything in reach. Pfft! A web suddenly splashed across the battlefield, sticking squarely to Gwen's back. "What?" Her eyes widened in shock. Rumble! Ultimate Spider Monkey swung in along the web and threw a brutal punch. Gwen instantly burrowed underground. Ultimate Spider Monkey's fist smashed the earth, shattering it as he roared. "Damn it! Missed her." Gwen emerged 10 meters away, breathing hard. This was bad. One of the good Bens was gone. No one was holding Albedo back anymore. And now, he was coming for her. Gwen Tennyson, Ultimate Spider Monkey growled, "No matter how strong you are, can you stop an ultimate alien?" Gwen started to sink underground again. "If you run," he shouted, "I'll attack the others and kill them. Think they'll escape like you?" Gwen froze. She stood up and faced them. She was that kind of person. She could scold her idiot cousin all day, but she wouldn't let him get hurt. "Albedo," she snapped, 2-on-1 and you're threatening people? That's disgusting." Snarrow glanced at Ultimate Spider Monkey, stunned. "Less talking." Ultimate Spider Monkey roared. "Finish her now." Albedo never cared about fair fights. Why bother with 1v1? That was stupid. 2v1, stack the advantage, then wipe out the good Bens. That was the smart way. Haha. Snarrow laughed darkly. "I love being despicable." Both of them advanced, cruel smiles on their faces. Gwen stepped back instinctively. Whoosh bang! A figure dropped from the night sky. Ethan landed in front of Gwen, straightening his back calmly. "Need help?" "Ethan!" Ultimate Spider Monkey snarled, stopping instantly. Snarrow subconsciously stepped back. Pure intimidation. Of course. Gwen nodded quickly. "Ethan, please handle Ultimate Spider Monkey." "I'll take Snarrow." "No." Ethan frowned and refused outright. Gwen froze. "It's not like I can't fight Ultimate Spider Monkey," she said softly. She wasn't dumping the hard fight on him. She just knew she couldn't win. But if Ethan didn't want to, then she'd do it. "What do you mean, just fight Snarrow?" Ethan raised his hand. "I'll fight both of them." The rocket backpack reshaped, condensing into a long spear that fell neatly into his grip. The spear tip leveled straight at the enemies. "You're fighting too?" Gwen's mouth fell open. She thought he was avoiding Ultimate Spider Monkey. And now, he was taking both. Of course, Ethan grinned. 2 is more exciting. Ding! Mission issued, Albedo and Zombie Ben dual opponents. Mission content, Albedo possesses ultimate evolution technology. Defeat him and defeat Zombie Ben as well. Mission reward, 60 reward points. See? The mission itself approved. Though honestly, 60 points felt a little low. Ultimate Spider Monkey pounded his chest furiously. Using ordinary alien DNA to talk like that in front of an ultimate alien. "You're asking to die." "Fighting too?" Snarrow sneered. Who do you think you are? A bandage lashed out violently. Pfft! Flames erupted across Ethan's armor. The spear ignited with blazing red-hot fire, detonating the bandage instantly. Hot hot hot! Snarrow screamed, yanking his burning bandage back. Who am I? Ethan walked forward, spear blazing. I'm the guy who chased 6 of you around earlier. I'll let you see what ultimate evolution really looks like. Ultimate Spider Monkey roared and charged straight at him. Author's note. The fanfic Ben 10, daily check-in system activated. Part 1 is now fully completed. The entire story has been uploaded on Patreon as a dedicated collection. Books Ben 10, Chapters 1-132. Organized into 14 posts, with multiple chapters per post for easy binge reading. Link symbol patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. Thank you all for your continuous support and love for this story Blue Heart. Chapter 69, Chapter 68, Fighting Multiple Evil Bens Eat to Your Heart's Content. Roar. Ultimate Spider Monkey let out a savage roar, swinging his massive fist down at Ethan. Thanks to Ultimate Evolution, his raw punching power far surpassed strength-based aliens like forearms or even way big in short bursts. Bang! Ethan thrust his spear forward. Flames erupted, colliding head-on with Ultimate Spider Monkey's heavy fist. Fire and shockwaves exploded outward, forming a violent firestorm that swallowed the battlefield. Several flames landed on Ultimate Spider Monkey, but failed to ignite his fur. After countless rounds of evolution, his body had long since developed fire resistance. Die! Snarrow lashed out from the side, bandages snapping around Ethan's waist. Ethan sneered. Thanks. Whoosh! Instead of resisting, his body floated upward, letting the bandages pull him. Then he twisted midair and aimed his spear straight at Snarrow. Not good. Snarrow dove aside at the last second, barely avoiding the thrust. Idiot! He's not afraid of you at all. Ultimate Spider Monkey shouted in frustration, spider spikes rising behind him as massive webs blasted toward Ethan. Fire doesn't work. Ethan's lips curved into a grin. Then let's switch it up. The flames around his body extinguished. In their place, diamonds spread across his armor. The spear in his hand reformed, reshaping into a specialized heavy crossbow. Crack! Diamond-tipped bolts locked into the prototype tool. As the webs closed in, Ethan raised the crossbow and fired. Boom! The diamond bolts ripped through the air, trailing sparks and lightning. Webs shattered instantly. Bang! 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 Bolt after bolt slammed toward Ultimate Spider Monkey. He can do that too. Ultimate Spider Monkey dodged desperately, barely avoiding being skewered. Still not enough. Ethan smiled wider. Then how about this? The crossbow reshaped again, becoming a diamond Gatling gun. The barrel spun. Bang 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 bang! A storm of diamond bullets flooded the battlefield like a metal tsunami. Ultimate Spider Monkey could no longer dodge. He crossed his arms, grunting in pain as bullets slammed into him non-stop. As for Snarrow, he was instantly swept aside, blasted into the ground and pinned there, completely unable to move. Ethan's combat power was terrifying. Gwen Tennyson stared in shock. Relying only on ordinary alien DNA, the prototype tool, and pure combat skill, Ethan was actually suppressing an ultimate alien. And he even held a slight advantage. Only a slight one, but still an advantage. He just couldn't finish Ultimate Spider Monkey quickly. The reason was simple. Vilgax had eaten a full way big attack head-on. Ultimate Spider Monkey, on the other hand, had been on guard the entire time, preventing Ethan from using way big's power. That difference alone changed everything. As long as I stop him from using way big and drag this out. Ultimate Spider Monkey steadied his breathing. I can win. Ethan exhaled slowly, calculating. I need to end this fast. Whoosh! A nuclear blast suddenly flew in from afar. Rumble! The explosion swallowed both Ethan and Ultimate Spider Monkey. Damn it! Ultimate Spider Monkey burst out of the blast, cursing loudly. Nega Ben! Stop throwing nuclear energy everywhere. You almost hit me. But then, the explosion began to fade. Hey! Why is it so weak? Ultimate Spider Monkey stared in confusion. As the smoke thinned, Ethan's figure emerged. Electricity crackled violently around him. On his armored palms, metallic pins extended from each finger. That is Ultimate Spider Monkey swallowed hard. Buzz shock. Ever been electrocuted so hard you fly? Ethan smiled. The prototype tool covered his fingers, forming 10-finger turrets. Rumble. Electric cannons fired simultaneously. 10 streams of devastating electricity merged into one catastrophic blast, slamming straight into Ultimate Spider Monkey. Gra! Ultimate Spider Monkey was launched like a missile, tearing through buildings one after another. Finally, hundreds of meters away, he crashed into a wasteland and lay motionless, smoke rising from his fur. Ultimate aliens aren't invincible after all. His eyes dimmed, and he passed out. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the mission. Host has gained 60 reward points. Ethan's face lit up. Finally, 60 points. Pink light flickered. With a crisp sound, the upgrade armor disengaged, returning him to normal. Ethan smiled calmly. Even without transforming, I can still fight. Crack! The prototype tool reconfigured again, becoming radiation-proof combat armor that wrapped around his body. He walked forward unhurriedly. Not far away, Wrath had 4 arms pinned to the ground, punching again and again. 4 arms roared in pain, claws tearing back desperately, only to make Wrath angrier. You're hurting Lord Wrath. I'll beat you to death. The more pain Wrath felt, the stronger he became. 4 arms couldn't keep up. Hey, Wrath! A cold voice sounded behind him. What? You dare call Lord Wrath by name? Wrath turned. Bang! Ethan's kick landed precisely on Wrath's weakest point. Oh ow! Wrath's entire body convulsed. He clutched his legs, trembling violently, and collapsed to his knees. Haha, Ethan chuckled. Hit your weak spot. Can't even rage now, hey. You. Wrath tried to stand. Bang bang bang. Punches. Kicks. Every strike landed on Wrath's critical points. Ethan beat him straight into the ground. Unable to move. 4 arms stared, dumbfounded. Those methods were vicious. Just watching made his body ache in sympathy. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the mission. Host has gained 15 reward points. Ethan stopped at last. Only 15. He sighed slightly. Too weak. He clapped his hands together. Next. Next. And charged toward another battlefield. Author's note. The fanfic Ben 10, daily check-in system activated. Part 1 is now fully completed. The entire story has been uploaded on Patreon as a dedicated collection. Books Ben 10, Chapters 1-132. Organized into 14 posts, with multiple chapters per post for easy binge reading. Link symbol patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. Thank you all for your continuous support and love for this story Blue Heart. Chapter 70, Chapter 69, The Villains Go All Out. Is the multiverse being destroyed? Bayou Bayou. With a series of sharp impacts, Nega Ben finally collapsed onto the ground, panting heavily, completely drained. No more fighting, no more fighting. He gasped weakly. I thought hunting you guys would be easy and fun. Turns out one fight is more exhausting than a PE class. You'd better not stay here too long, Buzzshock warned coldly, staring at him. You'll get killed by your own nuclear radiation. Yeah, I get it. Negaben sighed helplessly. I'm a failure. Do whatever you want with me. I give up. Negaben. How can you be this useless? An exasperated voice exploded across the battlefield. Negaben thought it was one of his teammates yelling at him. He and Buzzshock both turned. It was Ethan, wearing full prototype tool armor. He lifted his visor, eyes blazing with fury, glaring straight at Negaben. You're blaming me? Negaben froze, pointing at himself. Even as my enemy, Ethan snapped, you should have fought to the end. Someone who gives up this easily will never accomplish anything in life. He scolded him mercilessly, pressure pouring down on Negaben. Please. I already surrendered. Negaben muttered miserably. Why are you lecturing me like an elder? Ethan. Buzzshock said awkwardly. I know you want to beat the bad guys yourself, but you don't have to go this hard. Why don't you take a break and let us handle the leftovers? No need. Ethan waved his hand dismissively, eyes already locked elsewhere. I still have to rush to the next battlefield. What a workaholic, Buzzshock muttered, watching Ethan leave. A trace of awe crept into his voice. This is the real savior of the multiverse. He's basically a demon, Negaben muttered. Bang! Four Arms Dragon smashed his fist forward, sending Gravitak flying. Gravitak twisted space with gravity, barely stabilizing himself. Roar! Four Arms rushed in and slammed him down with a brutal claw strike. Before Gravitak could rise, vines burst from the ground, wrapping him tightly. FCK FCK! Gravitak cursed furiously, completely cornered. Are all the others dead or what? Why is no one helping me? Four Arms Dragon, Gwen Tennyson and Four Arms surrounded him from all sides. Isn't this bad, Ben? Ethan walked over casually, eyes glinting with cold amusement. Leave him to me. I'll handle him. Another one, hey. Gravitak's tone turned eerily calm. It seems all my teammates are either dead or defeated. To me, there's no difference. I'll just send you to join them. Ethan's expression hardened. Ha! Then I don't need to hold back anymore. Gravitak's eyes narrowed. His gravity exploded outward completely unrestrained. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Purple gravitational waves poured out like a flood, engulfing the ruins and spreading far beyond. This power! Dr. Paradox stared in horror. It's enough to destroy everything. Oh no! He's pushing Gravitak to the absolute limit. Ian slumped on the ground, stunned. Ben without the Omnitrix stood frozen beside him. All of you! Go to hell! Gravitak threw his head back. Boom! Infinite gravity collapsed inward, forming a massive black hole. The sky darkened. Everything nearby was dragged toward it. OSH*T. Four Arms Dragon didn't even have time to react. He was swallowed instantly. Four Arms turned to flee. Gone. Gwen, still underground. Dragged out and consumed. The black hole expanded endlessly, devouring everything in its path. Holy sh*T. Ethan's face went pale. Bad Ben went completely insane. He turned and ran at full speed as the black hole chased him. On the ground, Snarrow lay helpless, swallowed whole. Bad Ben! Ultimate Spider Monkey roared in fury. In a timeline without a watch, using this move will destroy the entire multiverse. But even he was powerless. And was consumed next. Wrath didn't even have time to understand what was happening. One moment. Gone the next. Whoosh bang! The black hole expanded violently. The town vanished. Everything beyond it vanished. Even Earth itself was swallowed. Not even gravitak escaped. Nothing remained. Above the planet's former orbit, in outer space, a deep blue portal flickered. Dr. Paradox dragged Ethan through it, his voice frantic. This is bad. The Ben without the Omnitrix, the most critical variant, was swallowed too. I need to check other timelines immediately. Ethan's mind was in chaos. In the original timeline, Vilgax detonated a time bomb and erased all timelines. Even then, Ben without the Omnitrix survived. And later reshaped the multiverse. But now, because of Ethan's intervention, Bad Ben went all out. And the black hole swallowed everything, including Ben without the Omnitrix. Even if he hadn't yet become the source of all evil, he was still bound to the multiversal time tree. His death meant catastrophe. Utter annihilation. Bad Ben was monstrously strong. Whoosh! Dr. Paradox vanished. Moments later, he returned, face ashen. Because key figures like the main universe Ben and Ben without the Omnitrix have disappeared. The multiverse is collapsing. At most one day remains before it ceases to exist. The consequences are too severe. Ethan felt his mind explode. So, Ben without the Omnitrix. Ben Tennyson. These two truly cannot be harmed? Unless we find a member of the extraterrestrial God clan and save that timeline before total collapse. Everything is over. We have one day, Dr. Paradox said grimly. One day to find such a being. He didn't blame Ethan. Bad Ben was the true culprit. Wait. Ethan's eyes narrowed. You said, one day. Yes. One day. I'll search for help. Ethan, you need to rest. Dr. Paradox stepped into a portal without waiting. He didn't even have time to worry about Ethan. Ethan took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and spoke silently. System. This all in gamble, it's on you. No matter what watch comes next, it must contain the extraterrestrial God clan. And if not, I'll use the first generation max level Omnitrix myself. I'll become one. The disaster he caused, he would bear it. Author's note. The fanfic Ben 10, daily check-in system activated. Part 1 is now fully completed. The entire story has been uploaded on Patreon as a dedicated collection. Books Ben 10, Chapters 1-132. Organized into 14 posts, with multiple chapters per post for easy binge reading. Link symbol patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. Thank you all for your continuous support and love for this story Blue Heart. Chapter 71, Chapter 70, a new template appears. The God Watch. Dr. Paradox had gone off to find help. Ethan still had to wait at least 10 more hours before he could claim the next template. And so, during that stretch of time, Ethan clenched his teeth and floated straight toward the portal. He couldn't just sit around doing nothing. P.S. The prototype tool automatically adjusted itself into equipment SUI watch for outer space traversal. Whoosh! Ethan stepped into the portal. A powerful sense of weightlessness instantly enveloped his body. After several seconds of drifting, he fell heavily into a vast, colorful expanse. Countless strange numbers floated all around him. This was the chronological time axis. Ethan, how did you get here? This is far too dangerous. Dr. Paradox strode over, helplessness evident in his voice. Doctor, Ethan replied calmly, eyes burning, do you really expect me to float in outer space for an entire day? Just put me somewhere safe. After 12 a.m. tonight, come pick me up again and we'll deal with the Ben without the Omnitrix timeline. It won't even take a whole day. Dr. Paradox froze. Midnight? A familiar image flashed through his mind. A template vanishing. Another watch appearing. Such miracles always happened at midnight. This kid is hiding a lot. Like Grandpa Max, Dr. Paradox keenly sensed the secrets Ethan carried. But he didn't press. He smiled faintly instead. All right. I'll send you to a fringe parallel universe for now. It's peaceful there temporarily. He had no interest in prying. He only needed to know one thing. Ethan stood on their side. That was enough. All right, Doctor. Ethan nodded decisively. Follow me. Dr. Paradox led the way, guiding Ethan through the depths of the chronological time axis. When they reached the outermost layer, Dr. Paradox waved his hand. A portal formed. Ethan stepped through without hesitation. Dr. Paradox exhaled slowly, muttering to himself. Now. I'll check the main timeline. Let's see if there's anyone capable left. The Ben without the Omnitrix. The most important Ben Tennyson. If something happened to them, the main timeline would collapse first. Only afterward would Ethan's universe, the Error Watch universe, and the Fringe universes follow. If Ben without the Omnitrix couldn't be saved within a day, everything would collapse. Fringe universe, a quiet hotel. Inside an unremarkable hotel room, Ethan sat restlessly on the sofa, still wearing prototype tool gloves. Damn it! I can't just sit here waiting for time to pass. His irritation grew. Finally, he raised his love watch. Whoosh! Pink light flashed. Ghost Freak materialized neatly on the bed. She blinked, staring around blankly. Ethan! Ghost Freak, I'm begging you. Make me sleep until midnight. Ethan spoke with absolute sincerity. Ghost Freak fell silent. If this was an order. The tentacles beneath her cloak stirred dangerously. She could show him what a tentacle queen really was. Use hypnosis, Ethan added quickly. Just knock me out until 12 a.m. Oh, hypnosis. Ghost Freak immediately understood. You were misunderstanding something just now, weren't you? Ethan began. Whoosh! Ghost Freak released her hypnosis instantly. Ethan collapsed into deep sleep on the spot. I'm not giving you a chance to tease me, she muttered. Midnight. Time flew by. Darkness fell outside the window. Ethan slowly woke up, rubbing his head. Close my eyes, open them, and it's night already. Hypnosis really is useful. Ding! Host's Love Watch, advanced version, has expired. Perfect timing. Claim today's template. Reversal Watch, War Watch, Full Class Hell, I'd even take an Error Watch. Ethan muttered, silently praying. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully claiming an Omnitrix template. The Omnitrix template obtained is God Watch. God Watch, the most extreme Omnitrix ever created. Every alien is fused with extraterrestrial God clan DNA. Each transformation possesses God-level power, capable of destroying and reshaping galaxies. Note, the God Watch has absolute protection. Even a beginner Ben Tennyson can safely control Alien X without backlash. Ethan froze. Wait. His throat bobbed violently. Gee, God Watch. Holy shit. He jumped up, slapping his thigh hard. Since gaining the system, he'd seen countless Omnitrix templates. But this was the first time he'd ever seen the God Watch. This is exactly what I wanted. Without hesitation. Whoosh! A divine Omnitrix radiating extraterrestrial God clan colors and absolute authority appeared in the void. It floated gently. And locked itself onto Ethan's right wrist. The God Watch. Perfect. Now all that's left is Dr. Paradox showing up on time. 1 minute. 2 minutes. Time ticked by. Ethan had awakened on time. The cheat had arrived on time. But Dr. Paradox hadn't. Shit. Doctor, I'll come find you. Ethan raised the God watch and tapped the screen. Spin. Spin. Stop. You're the one. He pressed. Whoosh. Deep black divine light erupted. Filled with infinite starlight. Extraterrestrial God clan power condensed into form. A pitch-black XLR8, its body covered in stars. No. It was more fitting to call it Godspeed XLR8. Super speed that outruns timelines. Running into the time axis seems reasonable. His voice deepened. Even his personality subtly shifted under the God-level power. Whoosh bang. Godspeed XLR8 took a single step. The world vanished. Walls ceased to exist. Obstacles became meaningless. Bang. 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 He ran through nothingness itself. Faster. Still faster. Until his body became pure light. He sprinted across parallel universes, using them as a racetrack. Whoosh. At last. He slammed into the chronological time axis, skidding violently as he tried to slow down. Dr. Paradox stared at his wildly flapping coat sleeves. Does the time axis even have wind? He shook his head. He hadn't found help. He had to go find Ethan. Author's note. The fanfic Ben 10, daily check-in system activated. Part 1 is now fully completed. The entire story has been uploaded on Patreon as a dedicated collection. Books Ben 10, Chapters 1-132. Organized into 14 posts, with multiple chapters per post for easy binge reading. Link symbol patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. Thank you all for your continuous support and love for this story Blue Heart. Chapter 72, Chapter 71, There is a kind of perfection called the God of Aliens. Dr. Paradox lifted his foot, about to step forward. Swish! An unbelievably fast figure streaked past him. XLR8. An alarm went off in Dr. Paradox's mind, and his expression instantly tightened. Had he been targeted by some rogue XLR8? Just like how Max had been targeted by Star of Dread back then. Whoosh! Bang! The figure abruptly stopped. Speed God turned around, looked at Dr. Paradox, and removed his mask. Dr. Paradox, it's me. Ethan. Ethan? How did you get here? Dr. Paradox stared at him, stunned, then added helplessly. And could you maybe run a bit slower? You nearly scared me to death just now. I was already moving very slowly, Speed God replied calmly. Almost like walking. If I were any faster, you wouldn't even be able to see me. Wait. Only then did Dr. Paradox truly notice the change. A terrifying, divine aura wrapped around Ethan's body. You've mastered some astonishing new power. Dr. Paradox exclaimed. Let's go, Speed God said simply. To the Ben without the Omnitrix timeline. Dr. Paradox swallowed hard. You look extremely reliable right now. He turned and began moving forward again. But Speed God merely leaned slightly. And vanished. Dr. Paradox hadn't even fully crossed the time axis before stopping in front of the Ben without the Omnitrix universe. Before he could open a space-time gate. Whoosh! Speed God accelerated again, transforming directly into a beam of light and drilling straight into the universe. Dr. Paradox wiped his forehead as cold sweat slid down. Is this divine power? Asking about someone else's secrets was extremely impolite. But damn it, he really wanted to know where Ethan got all these damn clocks. Ben without the Omnitrix parallel universe. 15 hours had passed since the black hole swallowed Earth. The gigantic black hole continued expanding, having already devoured the Moon, the Sun, and countless planets across the Milky Way. Speed God stopped at a distance, calmly observing it. He frowned slightly, his tone relaxed. So, how should I save it this time? Just smash the black hole directly. Ethan. Dr. Paradox stepped out of the portal, arriving a full step later than him. My suggestion is to first rescue Ben without the Omnitrix, Brother Ben, Full Class, and the other shapeshifters trapped inside. They are critical anchors to multiple timelines. After that, we can use force to destroy the black hole and finally have Atomic X restore everything. As long as they were alive, the timeline could still be stabilized. Enter the black hole to rescue people. Speed God raised an eyebrow. Then he lifted his hand and rotated the glowing pattern on his body. Then let's switch forms. Manually rotating the pattern allowed him to freely change alien forms. Whoosh! Divine light flashed. Is he using the orthodox alien X-Hay? What the hell is this? Dr. Paradox's anticipation turned into deep confusion. The light faded. Jet black upper body. Lower body formed into a translucent white fish tail. A divine Rupyas stood before him. Rupyas? Can he seriously pull this off? Dr. Paradox was extremely doubtful. Among alien heroes, Rupyas was practically sewer tier. Aside from breathing underwater, he had almost no advantages whatsoever. Listen, Rupyas God said calmly. When I use a celestial alien, there's no room for doubt. He stretched his body, spread his arms, and adopted a relaxed swimming posture. Then, bang! His fishtail gently swayed. And he swam freely, through outer space. He surged straight toward the black hole. The black hole's gravitational pull instantly locked onto him. Bang! 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 Divine power erupted endlessly from Rupyas God's body, completely overpowering the pull. He even adopted a freestyle swimming posture, casually swimming into the black hole. Like it was his personal swimming pool. Dr. Paradox's jaw dropped. That's a black hole, not your private swimming pool, hey! Whoosh whoosh whoosh! Rupyas God swam deeper, expression utterly indifferent. So this is a black hole? Not exciting at all. Unexpectedly, calm. The first person he encountered was Snarrow. Snarrow stared at Rupyas God like he'd seen a ghost. Rupyas God grabbed him. Crack! He opened his mouth and bit straight through the black hole, tearing space itself apart and forming a spatial gate. Dr. Paradox catch! With a flick of his arm, he hurled Snarrow out through the gate. He kept swimming. Negative Ben, protected by a clock that had already exhausted its energy. Albedo, relying on ultimate way big to survive. The dying gravitack. Along the way, anyone Rupyas God encountered was casually scooped up and thrown out of the black hole. He even switched swimming styles midway. Freestyle. Butterfly. Effortlessly traversing the black hole until he reached its deepest core. This is a fusion of Alien X and Rupyas. And not just a fusion. The most perfect fusion state. Atomic X, the form Brother Ben had transformed into, stared in shock as he tightly protected Ben without the Omnitrix in his arms. Because he had to constantly protect him. He couldn't free his hands to escape. Otherwise, how could a mere black hole trap Brother Ben? Let's go! Rupyas God grinned, biting open the outer shell of the black hole. With a single flick of his fish tail, Atomic X was launched straight out, blasting free of the black hole. Shock filled his face. If he used the fusion Omnitrix to combine Rupyas and Alien X, he'd likely get some unstable, half-baked abomination. But celestial aliens were different. Every alien was perfectly fused with celestial power. Now, Rupyas God straightened. Terminate the black hole. He surged out of it in a dazzling, heroic arc. Then suddenly struck a perfect diving pose. And plunged headfirst back into the black hole. Flashy. Way too flashy. He's actually diving, Atomic X muttered darkly. Whoosh. The pattern on Rupyas God's body rotated again. Divine light flashed. A short, squat, pitch-black figure covered in starlight appeared. Frogma! He he he! Frogma grinned wickedly, drool spilling from his mouth. Black hole. Looks delicious. Author's note. The fanfic Ben 10, daily check-in system activated. Part 1 is now fully completed. The entire story has been uploaded on Patreon as a dedicated collection. Books Ben 10, Chapters 1-132. Organized into 14 posts, with multiple chapters per post for easy binge reading. Link symbol patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. Thank you all for your continuous support and love for this story Blue Heart. Chapter 73, Chapter 72, The Multiverse Crisis comes to an end. Ethan's request. Frogma plunged straight into the gigantic black hole, drool dripping from the corners of his mouth. Suddenly, his mouth opened. Infinitely wide. It expanded at a terrifying geometric rate. By the time Frogma reached the black hole, his mouth was already larger than the black hole itself. Everyone watching from a distance fell completely silent, staring at that galaxy-sized mouth. This is the strongest Audiobook. Dr. Paradox exclaimed in disbelief. An Audiobook capable of swallowing a black hole in a single bite. Albedo watched the scene quietly. A trace of admiration rose in his heart. Losing to someone like this isn't shameful, he muttered. At least he's truly, absurdly powerful. Ben without the Omnitrix, however, looked confused. Then why did it take him so long to beat the enemy yesterday? He was obviously acting for his teammates, he complained. Gulp. Frogma snapped his mouth shut. The entire black hole vanished. Then he tilted his head back. His massive mouth rose with it. Gulp. Frogma swallowed hard. The black hole slid down his throat, which expanded to galaxy size. Yet when it reached his stomach, nothing happened. His stomach didn't expand at all. He had directly digested the black hole. Verb. Frogma let out a satisfied belch. In an instant, his mouth and neck returned to normal proportions. He floated lazily in the void, casually reaching out, grabbing a piece of space itself, kneading it into the shape of a toothpick, and calmly picking his teeth. Taste score, 8 points. Satisfaction score, 10 points. No one dared interrupt him. Under Dr. Paradox's direction, Atomic X began reconstructing Earth within Ben without the Omnitrix's timeline. Ben without the Omnitrix was safely returned to Earth. After that, Atomic X and Dr. Paradox worked together, sending each transformed individual back to their respective timelines one by one. Just like that, the multiverse collapse was stopped. Throughout the process, Frogma kept staring at Atomic X with undisguised hunger, drool slowly dripping, making Atomic X's scalp go numb. Professor. I'm basically done here, Atomic X said, forcing a smile. I'll take my leave first. After saying goodbye to Dr. Paradox, he immediately condensed divine energy, opened a portal himself, and fled. Only Dr. Paradox remained, along with a group of evil Bens. Dr. Frogma suddenly flew in front of Dr. Paradox, staring greedily at Bad Ben, Zombie Ben, and the others. Sending them back like this means they might keep doing bad things, he said with a grin. Why not let me enlighten them a little? He he he. No need. We'll behave. I really don't want to see you again, Ethan. Bad Ben, Zombie Ben, and the rest trembled violently, their faces filled with absolute refusal. Ian's face was pale. If Ethan had been on my team, damn it, the plan would have succeeded. Negative Ben let out a long sigh. I'll never look for excitement again. Staying alive is what matters most. Ethan, Dr. Paradox forced a smile. You've been missing from your universe for nearly an entire day. They must be worried. Yeah, that's true. Frogma scratched his head reluctantly. I'll be heading back soon, he said. But before I go, I have one request. What is it? Dr. Paradox asked. Just say the word. Frogma didn't hesitate. If you ever encounter powerful shapeshifters like Brother Ben, ask them if they're interested in fighting me. Help me arrange interdimensional duels. I'll try, Dr. Paradox said after a moment of silence. This guy's a full-blown war maniac, Mad Ben muttered in awe. He's someone I need to learn from. Well then later. Frogma spun lazily in midair. The pattern on his body shifted, transforming back into Speed God, XLR8. In the next instant, he accelerated violently, sprinting through the multiverse. It was already past midnight, around 12 a.m. Max, Ben Tennyson, and the others couldn't sleep. They sat inside the car, exhausted, staring blankly into the night. Max frowned deeply. From 6 or 7 yesterday morning, all the way past midnight. Ethan still hasn't come back from the parallel universe. Hey, blockhead, Gwen looked at Ben again. Are you sure you didn't see Ethan at the arena? Ben looked miserable. I'm telling you, I didn't see him. I almost used Ghost Freak to rip the place apart. There wasn't a single earthling. Silence filled the car. The three of them couldn't help growing anxious. Had Ethan been bullied out there? Or worse? Couldn't come back at all? Click. The car door handle moved. Ethan casually opened the door and stepped inside, looking surprised. I guessed the door wasn't locked, he said. But I didn't expect everyone to still be awake. Ethan. Are you okay? Max and Gwen rushed over, checking him anxiously. I'm fine, no need to check my body, Ethan said helplessly. Whatever multiverse crisis it was, I already solved it. Hey, Ben. Don't touch my God watch, don't just grab it. After enduring a wave of forced concern, Ethan, looking utterly disheveled, went to take a shower. The others, finally unable to resist exhaustion, fell into deep sleep. After showering, Ethan lay down on his mat. After a while, his expression changed. Damn it! He'd been hypnotized by Ghost Freak and forced to sleep for over 10 hours earlier. Now he wasn't sleepy at all. So, Ethan's biological clock was completely wrecked. He stayed consciously awake until dawn, then pretended to wake up. Why are you up so early again? Max said in surprise, arriving even later than him. Ethan laughed dryly. It's nothing. Oh right, Grandpa, nothing weird happened yesterday, right? Max smiled bitterly and explained. It turned out, when Ben transformed into XLR8 to play hero yesterday, he was suddenly abducted by an alien spaceship. That ship was called the Death Arena, specializing in kidnapping fighters for combat. Ben transformed into Ghost Freak, fought his way through the arena, and encountered a special force from the Milky Way known as the Galactic Guardians. They seized control of the Death Arena and escorted Ben back safely. Hiss! Ethan's eyes flickered. If you line it up like this, the Death Arena, the Galactic Guardians, those were straight-up episodes from the original series. I actually missed that much. So, what the hell was going to happen today? Ah! A scream echoed. Ben suddenly sat up, drenched in cold sweat. Did you dream about Vilgax? Or school starting? Ethan teased. Ben swallowed hard. I dreamed about Ghost Freak. He said he wanted to come out and show me what a real battle looks like. Ethan's expression stiffened. Damn it! He had run straight into the Ghost Freak escape arc. Lowering his head, he glanced at the God Watch on his wrist. Z's scare going to college. He wanted to get beaten. Or maybe this was the rhythm of skipping straight to senior year. Author's note. The fanfic Ben 10, daily check-in system activated. Part 1 is now fully completed. The entire story has been uploaded on Patreon as a dedicated collection. Books Ben 10, Chapters 1-132. Organized into 14 posts, with multiple chapters per post for easy binge reading. Link symbol patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. Thank you all for your continuous support and love for this story Blue Heart. Chapter 74, Chapter 73, Z's Scare, Do You Want to Fight the God Watch? Alright, Ben. Don't worry about Ghost Freak or whatever, Ethan said as he sat beside Ben, casually comforting him. With your good buddy here, what's there to be afraid of? If he dares mess around, I'll deal with him. Well, it's not that I'm scared, Ben said, forcing calm while panic churned inside him. I'm just, kind of confused. The two chatted idly, and Ben's mood slowly stabilized. Grandpa Max's hearty voice rang out. All right, hurry up and eat breakfast. After that, I'm taking you to visit a prestigious private school so you can experience some academic atmosphere. Okay. Aside from Gwen, both boys looked half dead with sleepiness. Inside the Omnitrix, cold eyes opened. A sinister voice echoed. Ethan, what do you think you are? Do you really believe a little brute force can defeat me, the King of Darkness? You're naive, and arrogant, human brat. Z's Scare sneered. He would make Ethan lose miserably. Even though it was summer vacation, the elite private school was still operating normally. Students moved about the campus. A blue-haired girl, dressed elegantly, walked at the front. Grandpa Max and the others followed behind. To be admitted to our school, the girl explained meticulously, students must demonstrate both academic excellence and refined conduct. Gwen's eyes sparkled with admiration. Ethan walked with his hands in his pockets, bored out of his mind. Hey, Ben nudged him. Your grades aren't as good as mine, right? That's why you don't care about this stuff. That's not it, Ethan replied flatly. My grades are excellent. I just don't need this. Right, Ben said stiffly, forcing an awkward smile. As they talked, the group entered a dim, deserted corridor. Their shadows stretched naturally across the wall. Except for Ben's. His shadow twisted, transforming into a horrifying ghost freak silhouette. Ah! Ben screamed and stumbled back. Grandpa Max's expression hardened instantly, recalling what had happened earlier. The blue-haired girl frowned impatiently. Please don't play pranks, she said sharply. That sort of thing only scares immature children. He he he. A chilling, ghastly voice echoed through the corridor. Everyone's blood ran cold. Ben clenched his fists, shaking violently. Ethan glanced at Grandpa Max and silently mouthed a few words. Grandpa Max nodded. Oh it's nothing, he said calmly. Just Ethan and Ben fooling around. Let's keep moving. He turned around decisively, leading the girl and Gwen forward. Their figures slowly disappeared. The corridor became silent. Empty. Only Ethan and Ben remained. Ethan. Ben swallowed hard. Shouldn't we follow them? Somewhere with more people. Ethan's voice was cold and steady. Z's Scare. If you want to fight importing your consciousness Ethan, will fight you to the end. He he he. And how exactly do you plan to fight to the end? Ghost Freak's shadow twisted violently. A claw pierced straight through Ethan's shadow, as if tearing his body apart. Ben staggered back in terror. Bang! Ethan snapped his hand forward. A prototype tool deployed instantly, forming a heavy gauntlet around his fist. He punched the wall. Boom! The wall collapsed, sunlight flooding in. Ghost Freak's shadow screamed and vanished. Is that all you've got? Ethan asked disdainfully. Ben hesitated. Ethan, you just broke the wall. Are we going to have to pay for that? Whoosh! The Omnitrix suddenly sprouted illusory green tentacles, striking outward. Ben jumped back. Ethan didn't even look at them. His gaze locked directly onto the Omnitrix. Is this really all you can do, ghost freak? No. Z's scare. Damn you, kid. Z's scare roared. He wasn't angry just because of Ethan's contempt, but because Ethan had seen through him completely. His identity. His nature. Everything. The one who thought he held all the secrets had become the clown instead. That's why you piss me off. You two better not sleep tonight. Ben, Ethan said bluntly, turning his head. Open the Omnitrix. Select Ghost Freak. Transform. He'll come out. Ben panicked. I know, Ethan replied calmly. That's exactly what I want. I want him out so I can fight him. Ben hesitated no longer. Click. Click. The Omnitrix activated. At the same time, Ethan activated the God Watch. Whoosh. Green light and divine starlight erupted together. Ha 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 ha. I'm free. Z's scare burst forth in green energy. Bang. Ben was violently ejected, slamming into the floor. He stared in shock. Ghost freak, he really escaped. You pathetic brats. Z's scare snarled. Your doomsday has arrived. He sneered at Ben. Then turned forward. What? The divine light faded. Standing there was a towering, four-armed figure. Massive. Muscular. Four eyes blazing. A tetrahand. Yet his body was pitch black, filled with swirling starlight. A celestial four arms. A god wearing a warrior's form. Gulp. Z's scare instinctively stepped back. I'll leave you breathing, the celestial forearms said calmly. Ben, I'll still need you later. Elsewhere, inside the school laboratory, the blue-haired girl was proudly introducing a display of solid gold trophies. These are all achievements earned by our students. Crash. The window shattered. Thumbskull climbed inside, grinning viciously. SSSSSS. Acid breath followed, melting the display case with corrosive slime. Finally, Frytwig slithered in, her living hair of snakes snatching trophies mid-air. Grandpa Max and Gwen hid to the side, staring in disbelief. The circus freak trio had returned to the world. Author's note. The fanfic Ben 10, daily check-in system activated. Part 1 is now fully completed. The entire story has been uploaded on Patreon as a dedicated collection. Books Ben 10, Chapters 1-132. Organized into 14 posts, with multiple chapters per post for easy binge reading. Link symbol patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. Thank you all for your continuous support and love for this story Blue Heart. Chapter 75, Chapter 74, The Super Beast appears and senses the existence of all things. Ha ha ha, we hit the jackpot. The snake-haired woman wrapped her living hair around a solid gold medal and casually tossed it to Thumbskull. The three of them, still wearing prison uniforms, laughed wildly as they looted the school's collection of valuables. Gwen, I'll distract them, Grandpa Max whispered nervously after glancing at the trio. You go inform Ethan. No need, Grandpa. Gwen stepped forward calmly. She lifted her chin slightly, revealing the pendant on her neck. A charm necklace embedded with 6 glowing spell charms. Ethan is busy, Gwen said seriously. Leave this place to me. Magician Gwen reporting for duty. Jay, just leave me some breathing room. Enough nonsense. I am Z's scare. Hearing that, Z's scare finally snapped. He violently tore away the restraints of his outer form, revealing writhing tentacles as his body surged forward at terrifying speed. The celestial forearms merely looked at him coldly. Die! Die! Z's scare lashed out madly. Tentacles stabbed. Claws raked. Every part of his body attacked at once. The celestial forearms didn't move. He stood perfectly still. Not even a single step back. The most absurd part. There wasn't even a scratch on his body. Not even a mark. Are you kidding me? This was the body of the celestial god clan. Why is it useless? Zscair shouted in disbelief. He gathered all his strength and struck again. Crack! A crisp fracture echoed. Ah! Zscair screamed as he clutched his claw, its nail completely shattered. Had enough fun? The celestial forearms smiled faintly. Now is my turn. He raised a single finger. Just one. Seeing this, Zscair immediately turned intangible and invisible. You can't hit me. And I can't hurt you. Boom. The next second. That finger pierced through reality itself, shattering the void and striking directly into nothingness. Under Zscair's horrified gaze, the finger slammed straight into his intangible form, forcibly dragging him back into physical space. Pta! Zscair was sent flying, smashing into the ground like he'd been hit by a speeding truck. How? How could anyone hit him while he was intangible? And with just one finger? Zscair, the celestial forearms said calmly, that flick used less than 1% of my strength. Zscair went silent. He could feel it. This monster truly hadn't gone all out. Surrender. The celestial forearms pointed at the Omnitrix on Ben Tennyson's wrist. Either you return to the Omnitrix or I force you back in. All right, I understand. Zscair stood up dejectedly and floated toward the Omnitrix. Whoosh! Just before reaching it, he suddenly turned, accelerating explosively toward the celestial forearms. Possess! Zscair plunged straight into his body. The celestial forearms' expression shifted slightly. Then, laughter erupted. Ha ha ha! Ethan, I admit it, you're invincible. Then I'll just take this invincible body for myself. Bang! The celestial forearms' eyes sharpened. With a violent surge of will, he expelled Zscair outright. Zscair crashed to the ground, trembling in shock. Your mental strength? It can resist possession. I told you. I am invincible. The celestial forearms walked forward calmly. Since you insist on resisting, I'll beat you into a dead dog first. At that moment, Zscair understood. His opponent wasn't just strong. He was invincible in every aspect. An existence standing at the absolute pinnacle. Whoosh! Zscair activated both invisibility and intangibility at once, vanishing completely. If he couldn't win, he'd run. Oh no! Ben Tennyson panicked. Ghost Freak ran away. What do we do? Run! The celestial forearms' expression turned icy. Can he? He rotated the pattern on his god watch, locking onto a new form. Super Beast! Whoosh! Divine light exploded again. A massive super beast, wild mutt, shaped like a celestial god clan entity, emerged. Its presence ferocious, like a primordial apex predator. It stepped forward calmly. A wild mutt? No, this is basically a super god beast. Ben gasped. You're going to use thermal sensing? Can you even catch him? Buzz, buzz. The super god beast's senses activated. In that instant, heat, wind, ants crawling in cracks, the smell of sandwiches drifting from the cafeteria, and even Zscair fleeing through nothingness. Everything was perceived. Every signal, every fluctuation, as if God mode had been activated. Whoosh! The super god beast suddenly lunged, closing the distance instantly. Hey! Zscair glanced back, forcing laughter. Haha, he can't possibly see me. I'm invisible and intangible. Before the words even finished. Whoosh! Bang! The super god beast pounced, slamming Zscair out of nothingness and crushing him into the ground. Pfft! Zscare's disguise collapsed. Purple fluid sprayed from his mouth. I am the hunter of nothingness, the super god beast said clearly, his voice calm and articulate. No prey escapes me. He raised Zscare in one claw. Despair filled Zscare's eyes. This is basically a god. If I surrender now, can I still? Bang! The super god beast slammed him down again without expression. Zscare went limp, completely unconscious. Not dead, but severely concussed. I gave you a chance, the super god beast said calmly. You refused. Then we fight. Ding! Mission completed. Reward received, 30 points. The reward was credited. The super god beast's killing intent receded slightly. He tossed Zscare toward Ben Tennyson, then looked into the distance. Ben, he said. Take him, we're going to find Gwen and the others. You're not reverting? Ben asked, stunned. No, I smell danger. The super god beast lifted his paw and strode forward. He could sense it clearly. Those three familiar weirdos were causing trouble again. Author's note. The fanfic Ben 10, daily check-in system activated. Part 1 is now fully completed. The entire story has been uploaded on Patreon as a dedicated collection. Books Ben 10, Chapters 1-132. Organized into 14 posts, with multiple chapters per post for easy binge reading. Link symbol patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. Thank you all for your continuous support and love for this story, Blue Heart. Chapter 76, Chapter 75, The Shadow of the God appears, with illusion power equal to the other gods. Inside the massive laboratory, Gwen floated into the air, circling the room as blazing fireballs continuously shot from her hands. Thumbskull roared as he hurled tables and chairs to block the flames. Freytwig's living hair writhed wildly, snapping and lunging toward Gwen, trying to restrain her, but she stayed just out of reach. Shit! Seeing this, Acid Breath cursed under his breath. He suddenly turned his head and spat a mouthful of corrosive slime straight at Grandpa Max. You like playing the hero? Then go save someone. Grandpa! Gwen cried out and instantly flew in front of him. Flames burst from her palms. Boom! The fire collided with the acid, detonating violently. Gwen was blasted backward by the shockwave, crashing into a cushioned seat in the back row instead of the wall. The lucky charm around her neck flashed faintly. She wasn't injured, but the impact left her unable to continue fighting. Hand over your valuables obediently, Freytwig sneered as she stepped closer, and I might spare your life. Acid Breath patted his chest, still shaken. When she attacked just now, it scared the hell out of me. She reminded me of another terrifying kid. Too bad, he sneered. You're way weaker than him. Ha! Even if that alien brat shows up, Thumbskull laughed arrogantly, we'll still beat him flat. Thump! 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 Heavy footsteps echoed. A massive beast, ancient, oppressive, and radiating divine authority, slowly stepped forward. The super god beast entered the laboratory. Instantly, everyone froze. Not a single person dared move. Ethan! Gwen stared at the super god beast's godlike form, momentarily dazed. What is that? Grandpa Max was completely unable to understand this alien form anymore. Thumbskull, Acid Breath, and Freytwig felt their hearts pounding violently. The celestial aliens and the error aliens had completely different styles. Yet they could feel it. They were transformed by the same person. That terrifying human named Ethan. Last time I caught the three of you, the super god beast said coldly, you still dare to cause trouble. He stopped in front of them. First put the medals back. Why yes. Understood. The three immediately obeyed. Like model citizens, they began carefully returning every stolen item to its original place. They worked extremely slowly. Painfully carefully. They were terrified of what would happen once they finished. Enough, the super god beast growled. Stop stalling. The trio stiffened. Relax. The super god beast whispered. Roar. A high-frequency roar exploded outward. Sound waves swept through the room. In an instant, the circus freak trio collapsed unconscious, dropping to the floor one by one. This is insane. One roar and they're done. Cold sweat poured down Grandpa Max's forehead. He still didn't fully understand Ethan's alien powers. Gwen finally exhaled in relief. It's over. No, the super god beast replied calmly. It's not. He stared at the unconscious trio. I gave them a chance. They reoffended. Therefore, they will be punished. More importantly, they didn't even trigger a reward point mission. Useless. Kevin at least gives points. Are you going to kill them? Grandpa Max's heart tightened as he stepped forward. I said before I wouldn't interfere with your personal actions, but give me time. I'll take the others away. He chose to compromise. No. The super god beast smiled confidently. With divine power, I no longer need crude methods like killing. Killing was efficient. But now, he could do something far more advanced. Whoosh! The pattern on his body rotated. Divine light flashed. And Ghost Freak appeared. But this was no ordinary Ghost Freak. His body bore the starlit black skin of the celestial god clan. 3 short horns rose from his head. His eyes glowed deep, radiant gold. Celestial Ghost Freak. Ben Tennyson whispered. This isn't just an alien. It's a god's projection. No one felt fear anymore. Only reverence. Celestial illusion. Golden light erupted from Celestial Ghost Freak's eyes, forming a terrifying illusion field that engulfed the 3 villains. Seconds passed. Then, Thumbskull slowly stood up. His face twisted as tears poured down. Why was I so awful before? Robbing, arson, even murder. I'm trash. I should be locked up. I want to go to prison. People like me deserve it. Acid breath crawled up, screaming hysterically. Frightwig rose silently, then wrapped her living hair around her own neck, trying to strangle herself in repentance. Everyone stared, stunned. Celestial Ghost Freak smiled faintly. My illusion has completely rewritten them. They will never commit evil again. Normal Ghost Freak's illusion caused fear. Celestial Ghost Freak's illusion rewrote the soul itself. Then, he slowly turned towards Z-Scare. Can even a demon like him be changed? Ben swallowed dryly. This is easy. Ben, Celestial Ghost Freak said calmly, from now on, you can use Ghost Freak freely. Golden light blazed, illuminating Z-Scare completely. Sizzle, sizzle. Dark aura and killing intent poured out of him as he was forcibly purified. No, don't change me! Z-Scare screamed, writhing violently. He turned to flee. Whoosh! Bang! A massive claw descended like a mountain, pinning him to the ground. The illusion continued. Before Celestial Ghost Freak, Z-Scare was utterly helpless. Seconds later, the claw withdrew. Is it over? Ben and Grandpa Max stepped closer. Z-Scare slowly floated up. Everyone instinctively backed away. Then, he smiled brightly. Ben. Master. I, Z-Scare, like you the most. I want to fight alongside you. He hugged Ben tightly. Ben froze, then awkwardly hugged back. Oh, okay. Z-Scare. Goosebumps covered his body. Ethan really had changed him. But damn, it was gross. Grandpa Max took a deep breath. An apprentice plumber had just defeated Z-Scare using pure illusion. The power gap was ridiculous. What watch do you want to see next? Fusion Watch, Ultimate Evolution Watch, War Watch, Reversal Watch. or even the disaster watch. The most liked option will be adopted. Author's note. The fanfic Ben 10, daily check-in system activated. Part 1 is now fully completed. The entire story has been uploaded on Patreon as a dedicated collection. Books Ben 10, Chapters 1-132. Organized into 14 posts, with multiple chapters per post for easy binge reading. Link symbol patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. Thank you all for your continuous support and love for this story Blue Heart. Chapter 77, Chapter 76, The God Watch leaves, and the Night Watch makes its debut. Whoosh! Ben Tennyson raised his wrist, and the Omnitrix retracted Ghost Freak back inside. Just like that. He had obtained a 100% obedient Ghost Freak years ahead of schedule. Whoosh bang! Ethan deactivated his celestial transformation and contacted the local Tiangong Association branch. Half an hour later, the Plumber Association arrived, secured the scene, and took away the circus freak trio. Ethan and the others continued following the blue-haired guide, touring the remaining areas of the prestigious school. Throughout the entire visit, the blue-haired girl remained extremely cautious, clearly afraid of offending Ethan and the others. Her attitude was polite to the point of nervousness. The rest of the day passed peacefully at the school. That night, Ethan opened his eyes early and stared at the celestial watch on his wrist, filled with reluctance. Goodbye, God Watch. This Omnitrix was absurdly powerful. Without question, it was the strongest watch he had ever used. Letting it go genuinely hurt. Ding! The host's God Watch has expired. Would you like to permanently store it in the ability pool? The celestial watch began to fade. Ethan clenched his teeth and asked. System, what's the price? God Watch price, 9,999 reward points. Pfft! Ethan almost spat out blood. Not to mention how insanely hard it was to accumulate 9,999 reward points. Spending points during the process was practically unavoidable. So this is the value of an entire celestial race, plus a god-tier guardian. He smiled bitterly and gave up. Whoosh! The celestial watch vanished completely. Farewell, invincible cheat. System, Ethan said calmly, claim today's Omnitrix template. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully claiming an Omnitrix template. Template acquired, Night Watch. Night Watch. Ethan raised an eyebrow. Night Watch, in this universe, Azimuth mastered a unique interdimensional observation ability. While watching other universes, he became fascinated with Kamen Rider-style heroes and integrated their concepts with alien transformations. Night Watch? Ethan didn't hesitate. I'll take it. Even if he didn't know how strong it was. It sounded cool. Whoosh! A deep gold Omnitrix appeared on his wrist. Unlike the domineering orange of the War Watch or the aggressive pink of the Love Watch, gold represented legend. Interesting, Ethan murmured, smiling. Night Watch. I wonder which unlucky bastard will run into it tomorrow morning. The night passed without incident. Morning came. The old, battered RV drove along the desert highway. Ben and Gwen each ate a bowl of green paste. It was crispy and surprisingly tasty. Well? Grandpa Max asked with a grin. Good, right? Crispy, like potato chips, Gwen said curiously. Grandpa, what is this? Oh, Grandpa Max replied casually. Dung beetle paste. Ben and Gwen froze. Then instantly spat everything out. Their faces turned green. Don't waste food. Grandpa Max scolded. Then he turned to Ethan, aren't you having a bowl? Haha. I've got work to do, Ethan said stiffly, chewing his sandwich. I'll just eat something quick. He pretended to pull out a Plumber Association terminal and scan data. Being a trainee plumber was great. You could always use work as an excuse to dodge Grandpa Max's nightmare cuisine. Beep. 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 Suddenly, the terminal issued an alert. Trainee plumber Ethan. Satellite has detected suspected activity by an unknown organization near your location. Please remain alert. Unknown organization. Ethan raised an eyebrow and glanced at his night watch. They're the ones who should be careful. At the same time. Click. A device popped out of the RV's roof. A screen unfolded. Displayed on it. A demonic mask. This is the mummy's mask of a Nerkufos, Ethan said, eyes narrowing. Grandpa Max's expression turned serious. The RV's warning system detected it being unearthed, he explained. That mask can guide its holder to the temple and the legendary Audiobook god sword. So that means. Gwen frowned. An unknown organization nearby, and the demon god mask has already surfaced. That was bad. Very bad. I've locked onto the mask's location, Grandpa Max said, stepping on the gas. We're moving. Minutes later. The RV stopped at a construction site. Normally, it should have been full of workers. Instead, heavily armed warriors stood guard, blocking entry. These guys. Ben clenched his fists. They're with the people who kidnapped me. Calm down, Ben, Ethan said calmly, patting his shoulder. Use Ghost Freak. Go intangible and invisible. Secure the demon god mask first. Don't worry about the guards. Okay, Ben said, steadying himself. He activated the Omnitrix and transformed into Ghost Freak. With a chuckle, he vanished. Minutes later, the car door creaked open. Ghost Freak reappeared, holding the demon god mask. That was easy, he said proudly, placing it down. We've got the mask. Let's go. Good thing they didn't notice us, Grandpa Max sighed in relief. Gwen smiled. Ben really was getting more reliable. Everything seemed to have gone perfectly. Only Ghost Freak looked uneasy. Ethan suddenly raised a hand. Wait. He looked toward the construction site and spoke calmly. We've got the item. Now it's time to deal with this organization's warriors. What? Everyone stared at him in disbelief. Especially Ghost Freak, who looked completely stunned. Author's note. The fanfic Ben 10, daily check-in system activated. Part 1 is now fully completed. The entire story has been uploaded on Patreon as a dedicated collection. Books Ben 10, Chapters 1-132. Organized into 14 posts, with multiple chapters per post for easy binge reading. Link symbol patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. Thank you all for your continuous support and love for this story Blue Heart. Chapter 78, Chapter 77, Flame Man 555 appears, with flames like the sun. What's wrong? Ethan shrugged casually, his tone relaxed. Did everyone forget how terrifying we are? When weirdos run into us, it means they're in for a world of pain. Hearing that, Ghost Freak's breathing quickened, his blood surging. This was the Ethan he knew. That's right. Ghost Freak shouted excitedly. They're dead meat. Long live Ethan. Grandpa Max looked at him with a complicated expression. But, avoiding trouble is usually better. Which is exactly why we should wipe out the Forever Night organization here and now. To save the Plumber Association future trouble. Ethan calmly played the Plumber Association card. Grandpa Max fell silent. Damn it. Ethan's logic was airtight. The RV door creaked open. Ethan stepped out alone. His feet hit the ground, hands in his pockets, strolling casually toward the construction site. He walked straight in. Smiling. Where the hell did this brat come from? Get lost. He's already seen us, just kill him. Yeah, kill him. One by one, the samurai noticed him. Their expressions twisted as killing intent surged. Katanas were drawn. They advanced. "Ah, don't kill me!" Ethan raised his hands exaggeratedly and backed into the shadows, his face full of fear. Roar! Ghost Freak burst out of the ground. Shadow tentacles lashed out violently. Bang! 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 Several samurai were knocked flying. What was that? Enemy attack! Get all weapons now! At once! Samurai poured out from every direction, carrying rifles, blades, launchers like an entire mobile armory. At the very back stood a figure wearing a golden mask, his presence oppressive. Eternal Warrior narrowed his eyes. What are these two supposed to be? Too many people. Ethan lowered his hands, tapped the night watch, and smiled. Then it's my turn. Whoosh! Brilliant golden light exploded outward. The air temperature spiked violently. A blazing figure walked out of the light. Heat blast. But this was different. Knight-styled armor plates were embedded across his body, and on his face was the iconic Kamen Rider 555 mask. Flames roared like a living sun. Oh my god! Ghost Freak's jaw dropped. He's way too cool. Even the samurai froze. No. Everyone here had armor and masks. So why was this guy unfairly handsome? Ding! Mission issued, Criminal Organization Forever Night Organization. Mission objective, eliminate the Forever Night Organization Samurai Squad. Mission reward, 15 reward points. Perfect. Fire Knight clenched his fist. Flames erupted. A blazing punch smashed forward. Boom! Several samurai in the front row were instantly swallowed by a sea of fire, screaming as they burned. Weapons roared. Laser fire. Armor-piercing rounds. Heavy bullets. All poured into Fire Knight. Any weapon under the temperature of the sun is nothing but scrap metal. Fire Knight chuckled. He raised his hand. A massive sunfire sphere formed. Its temperature skyrocketed. Terrifyingly close to solar levels. All incoming bullets melted mid-air, turning into molten slag or evaporating outright. No matter how the samurai fired, they couldn't even scratch him. My sunfire is invincible. Fire Knight stepped forward. The sunfire advanced with him. Thousands of degrees of heat scorched the ground, turning the battlefield into a furnace. One by one, samurai staggered. Their consciousness blurred. They collapsed. Cooked alive in seconds. Retreat! Eternal Warrior shouted in panic. Do not approach that monster. The samurai fled. It didn't matter. Fire Knight strolled leisurely. Just existing was enough to kill them. Before godlike power, they were weaker than ants. I honestly doubt Vilgax could survive a single hit from me. Fire Knight smiled faintly. Night Watch aliens weren't as absurdly broken as Celestial Watch ones. But they were more than enough. And damn! They looked amazing. Ethan, no, this temperature is insane. Ghost Freak groaned weakly from the shadows. I'm about to be roasted alive. Ah! Fire Knight snapped back to reality. Sorry, my bad. Since you're hot, I'll cool things down. Whoosh! He flicked his palm. The sunfire exploded outward, engulfing the entire construction site. Then instantly shifted. The flames turned ghostly blue. The temperature plummeted to absolute cold. At first, the samurai felt strange pleasure. Then, their armor froze. Heat drained from their bodies. One by one, they collapsed again. This time, dying from hypothermia. That's insane. Heat blast can do that. Ghost Freak relaxed in the freezing flames, stunned. No. Fire Knight replied calmly. Only my Fire Knight can Kamen Rider 555 plus Fire Knight. The god of temperature. From absolute zero to solar inferno. At will. Only Eternal Warrior remained. He trembled violently, staring at Fire Knight in terror. You're the monster who destroyed our sub-base back then. It had to be you. Only power like this could do that. Fire Knight nodded lightly. You're right. And that incident had a reward attached. He leapt upward. Hovered mid-air. Struck a perfect flying kick pose. Reward Rider Kick. Boom. The air shattered with sonic booms. The kick smashed forward. Eternal Warrior shut his eyes in despair. So this is how the Forever Knight organization ends. The kick passed his side. Boom. Eternal Warrior's body disintegrated. Flames swallowed the remains. Nothing left but ashes. One hit kill. Elegance, 100 points. Fire Knight landed lightly. Turned. Walked away without looking back. Behind him. The construction site was nothing but scorched ruins. Ding! Mission completed. Reward received, 15 reward points. Author's note. The fanfic Ben 10, daily check-in system activated. Part 1 is now fully completed. The entire story has been uploaded on Patreon as a dedicated collection. Books Ben 10, Chapters 1-132. Organized into 14 posts, with multiple chapters per post for easy binge reading. Link symbol patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. Thank you all for your continuous support and love for this story Blue Heart. Chapter 79, Chapter 78, Kyuga, the four-handed overlord, bravely breaks into the underground temple. Inside the old, battered RV. Grandpa Max wore the mask of a Nerkufos, successfully activating it. He laughed as he spoke. All right. I've got the coordinates for the Sword of Bezel. I'm driving us there now. With that, he put the mask away and returned to the driver's seat. Hey, Ethan. Ben Tennyson stared at him with blazing eyes. When did your alien become that handsome? Ethan coughed lightly and replied vaguely. Maybe my aliens have multiple skins that switch automatically. That's my guess. Ethan. Ben suddenly had an idea and blurted out excitedly. Next time you transform, let me touch you with the Omnitrix. I want to see if it can absorb your DNA. Sure. Ethan nodded, mildly curious. In truth, it was almost certainly useless. Ben's Omnitrix already contained the DNA of all known aliens. It wouldn't absorb duplicate DNA, especially not modified variants like Ethan's. Still, as long as the kid was happy. In the endless desert. A massive, sealed temple suddenly appeared, standing silently under the scorching sun. The RV stopped at the temple entrance. Grandpa Max, Gwen, and Ethan searched around the temple's perimeter for a long time. This is strange. Grandpa Max frowned. I can't find any entrance at all. Do we have to locate some hidden passage no one's ever discovered? Gwen asked. If we can't find an entrance, Ethan said calmly, stopping in place, then we'll make one. He raised the night watch on his wrist. Wait. Grandpa Max warned. What if it triggers traps? It doesn't matter, Ethan replied flatly. My power ignores traps. He tapped the night watch screen, selected an alien, and pressed it. Whoosh! Golden Rider light spread outward. A towering figure emerged. 4 arms. But this wasn't an ordinary 4 arms. He wore an oversized Kyuga-style rider armor. Even so, the armor couldn't conceal his 8-pack ABS or his overwhelmingly muscular frame. With that physique, the massive Kyuga armor looked like a Hulkbuster suit. So cool. I want it. Ben excitedly slapped the Omnitrix against 4 arms' body. DNA absorption failed. Gene bank already contains this DNA. The Omnitrix's cold mechanical voice echoed. What? Ben nearly exploded. That's bullshit. I don't have this 4 arms at all. Why won't you let me absorb it? Bad enough you won't help him unlock skins. Now it wouldn't even let him collect skins. 4 arms clasped all 4 hands together and slammed them downward. Whoosh! Light surged across his body. The red armor instantly turned deep purple, heavy and oppressive. Entering Kyaga, Titan form. 4 arms roared as power erupted within him. His strength multiplied several times over, easily more than 10-fold. He stepped forward, walking toward the temple entrance. Bang! One massive hand rested on the temple wall. Everyone, he said calmly. Stand back. Whoosh! Ben, looking utterly heartbroken, transformed into XLR8 and grabbed Grandpa Max and Gwen, sprinting far away. The moment they cleared the area. Rumble! 4 arms exerted force. Veins bulged across his arms. The entire temple was uprooted in an instant, flying into the air like a kicked football. It soared dozens of meters high, flew farther and farther. Then vanished into the distance. Beneath it was revealed a massive hidden staircase leading deep underground. All right. 4 arms looked down the stairs, radiating invincibility. Let's go, Ben. Awesome. You're insane. XLR8 zipped forward, even reaching out with a clearly criminal hand to touch the rider armor. Wow! It felt incredible. Inside the dim stairway, they descended step by step. Suddenly, click! XLR8 stepped on a stone tile. It sank like a button. A trap. XLR8 reacted instantly. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Crossbows burst out from both walls and even from the ceiling. Countless arrows flooded the corridor. Whoosh! XLR8 accelerated again, dodging arrow after arrow. Achoo! 4 arms felt an itch in his nose and accidentally sneezed. Rumble! A deep purple shockwave blasted outward. All arrows in front of him were instantly blown apart. Then 4 arms kept walking as if nothing happened. XLR8 tossed away the arrows in his hands and snorted. Humph! If I'd known, I'd have let you sneeze a few more times. They safely descended and reached a massive underground temple. The interior was complex like a labyrinth. I can map the whole place in 10 seconds. XLR8 said confidently. No need, 4 arms replied calmly. That's too troublesome. Watch. He slowly extended his right hand. Click. The prototype tool he always carried automatically transformed into a massive hammer and dropped into his palm. Boom. 4 arms swung it violently. The hammer flew forward. The moment it touched a wall. Crash. The wall collapsed. The hammer kept flying. Boom. 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 Walls, obstacles, mechanisms. Everything was obliterated. One hammer swing literally carved a path straight through the temple. Follow my hammer, 4 arms said with a grin. We'll be safe. XLR8 stared, eyes watery. Where the hell did you get that weapon? Is this VIP treatment or something? They followed the hammer until it smashed through a thick wall and flew into a vast underground chamber. 4 arms retrieved it and looked ahead. Inside the enormous hall stood a strange pyramid-like structure, with stairs on all 4 sides. At the very top, a divine sword was embedded. The Sword of Bezel. It was the same divine weapon Ethan had once seen listed in the system shop. A divine sword. 4 arms tightened his grip on the hammer and took a step forward. It's mine. Roar. A terrifying beast's roar echoed throughout the entire underground temple. Author's note. The fanfic Ben 10, daily check-in system activated. Part 1 is now fully completed. The entire story has been uploaded on Patreon as a dedicated collection. Books Ben 10, Chapters 1-132. Organized into 14 posts, with multiple chapters per post for easy binge reading. Link symbol patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. Thank you all for your continuous support and love for this story, Blue Heart. Chapter 80, Chapter 79, The Demonic Clock King appears, and Ethan masters the Exua sword. A humanoid monster, several meters tall, with deep blue skin and crimson pupils, stood before them. He was clad in ancient armor, swinging a pair of sharp claws as he strode straight toward Four-Arms and XLR8. Hey! Want to fight? Four-Arms' domineering eyes widened. He clenched the massive hammer in his hand as an invisible, crushing aura spread outward. At that moment, the deep blue monster's blood-red eyes suddenly froze. His pupils trembled violently. His body locked up, standing there in a daze. If you want to fight, Four-Arms said in a low voice, gripping his hammer, I'll see it through to the end. He walked forward step by step. Bang! Bang! The deep blue monster's heart thundered like an emperor's engine. Cold sweat drenched his body. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. His beastly instincts screamed at him. If he retreated even a second later, he would die. Finally, the deep blue monster backed up to the side of the sword mound. His fierce expression vanished, replaced by an unbelievably fawning smile. He dropped flat to the ground, deliberately positioning himself slightly lower than the first step of the sword mound. Four-Arms stared at him, mouth twitching. This is polite. No. Why are you being so polite to me? If you're this polite, how am I supposed to hit you? Hee hee. The deep blue monster chuckled foolishly, wiggling his waist and gesturing for Four-Arms to step on him. I still prefer your defiant look, Four-Arms muttered helplessly, releasing his hammer. Click! The prototype tool automatically transformed into a mechanical belt and fastened around his waist. Four-Arms lightly leaped forward, flying directly over the deep blue monster's back and landing on the stone steps. He walked toward the location of the Sword of Bezel. XLR8 stepped up to the monster and said indifferently, Ethan isn't a bad guy. He wouldn't just step on someone's back. The deep blue monster nodded rapidly in agreement. Whoosh! Four-Arms stopped before the Sword of Bezel and reached out, gripping the hilt. Slowly, he pulled. Crack! In an instant. The moment the Sword of Bezel was drawn, it shattered into pieces across the ground. What? It shattered! XLR8 exclaimed in disbelief, regret written all over his face. The deep blue monster sighed heavily, lowering his head, completely speechless. Something must have gone wrong. Four-Arms frowned, staring at the fragments in his hand, unable to accept it. In the original records, the Eternal Warrior had drawn the Sword of Bezel. And it shattered. Ethan thought he would be different. The result was exactly the same. Ethan, the sword's broken. Let's go, XLR8 said regretfully. At least it didn't fall into the hands of bad guys. No. We can start over. We can prevent the sword from shattering. Four-Arms twisted the patterns on his body. A brilliant light flashed. Whoosh! A massive golden, illusory clock appeared in the underground world. At that instant, everything froze. XLR8's shocked expression locked in place. The deep blue monster's god-fearing stare stopped mid-breath. Thump! 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 A figure clad in exquisitely magnificent golden armor appeared, placing one hand on the clock's hands. The demonic clock king, Clockwork. Let time return to before the sword shattered. He violently spun the minute hand, precisely rewinding time. The demonic clock king wielded time itself. To him, time was a toy. And the timeline, his weapon. Crack! Crack! Time rolled back half a minute. The demonic clock king withdrew his hand and released the time lock. Whoosh! The world's timeline surged forward again. XLR8's expression reverted to anticipation. Draw the sword. The deep blue monster watched nervously, his face full of worry. Four Arms stared at the god sword, deep in thought. I've gone back half a minute, but how do I draw the sword of Bezel? Wait. The system store sells the sword of Bezel. If the system dares to sell it, then it must guarantee he can wield it and that there are matching conditions. Four Arms' thoughts raced as he spoke decisively. System, I want to buy the sword of Bezel. What do I need to prepare first? Ding! The host must purchase Ancient Human King DNA, priced at 100 reward points to gain the ability to wield the sword of Bezel. Holy crap, 100 reward points! Four Arms almost cursed. What the hell is Ancient Human King DNA? Is it really worth that price? After a long hesitation, Four Arms clenched his teeth. System, you've never disappointed me. I hope this time's no different. Buy it. Ding! Congratulations to the host on a successful purchase. 100 reward points consumed. Is it coming? The feeling of genetic metamorphosis. Four Arms tensed, waiting. 1 second passed. 2 seconds passed. Nothing. Damn it, no feeling. Is it because I'm transformed? Whoosh. Ethan reverted to his human form, his expression grim. Still no visible change. He was just about to curse when he casually rested his hand on the sword of Bezel. Crack. He pulled hard. If this sword shatters, system, our trust shatters with it too. Rumble. The moment the sword of Bezel was drawn, blinding sword light erupted. Ethan subconsciously swung it. The sword light transformed into a monstrous wave, smashing violently into a distant giant boulder. He stared at the scene, dumbfounded, clutching the god sword. Oh my god! The god sword truly lived up to its name. This is the sword of Bezel. XLR8 looked up at it reverently. When will I get decent equipment too? Sigh. Roar. The deep blue monster stared at Ethan's back. After hesitating for a moment, he roared and pounced forward, launching a savage attack. Hat. Ethan's lips curved into a smile. Crack. The prototype tool covered his right arm, forming a terrifying mechanical limb. He gripped the god sword, turned, and unleashed a full power slash. Rumble. Sword energy exploded outward, condensing into a terrifying lightning strike that slammed straight into the deep blue monster. Boom! The monster's eyes widened as his body was launched away like a broken kite. He hit the ground hard. And slowly split in two. One sword. Slain. Who? The god sword dimmed slightly in Ethan's hand. His breathing grew heavier. With only the prototype tool, he already possessed alien hero-level combat power, just lacking versatility. With the god sword in hand, his attack power skyrocketed. He even gained his own ultimate move. If I use my ultimate, Ethan thought eagerly. Vilgax, if he can't react, would be killed by a single sword. At that moment, even in his normal state, Ethan was already worthy of being called a monster. Ethan! XLR8 shouted loudly, looking pitiful. Hurry, help me find the second god sword. I want to get stronger too. Ben. I'll help you find some weapons later. Ethan chuckled as he looked at Ben. It was time to boost Ben's combat power too. After all, those reward points had been earned from him. Author's note. The fanfic Ben 10, daily check-in system activated. Part 1 is now fully completed. The entire story has been uploaded on Patreon as a dedicated collection. Books Ben 10, Chapters 1-132. Organized into 14 posts, with multiple chapters per post for easy binge reading. Link symbol patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. Thank you all for your continuous support and love for this story. Blue Heart. Chapter 81, Chapter 80, It's the Wrong Love Watch I Want It. Boom. 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 The temple began to collapse, crumbling before everyone's eyes. Just a second before it was completely destroyed. Whoosh! XLR8 grabbed Ethan and rushed out of the ruins, returning to where Grandpa Max and the others were waiting. "Grandpa, everything's taken care of." Behind Ethan's back, the prototype tool had formed a mechanical scabbard, perfectly encasing the sword of Bezel. "The god sword, it's ours. Speaking of which, we were supposed to be guarding it. How did it end up with Ethan again?" Grandpa Max nodded in satisfaction, clearly approving of Ethan's efficiency. At the same time, his expression was a bit strange as he muttered to himself. "All right, Grandpa, let's go." Ethan grinned and, after a playful remark, walked straight toward the old broken car. The group soon returned to the vehicle. Ethan stored the mechanical scabbard in his backpack so he could carry it around at all times. After that, he pulled out his phone and checked several unread messages. They were all remittance notifications. The sender was unsurprisingly the Forever Night Association. "Ah, my savings are already over 100,000, Ethan sighed. "How troublesome. I can't even spend it all. I'm still so young. Where the hell would I even spend money?" He put his phone away, looking deeply distressed. Ben's face darkened when he heard this. "Ethan, don't forget you promised to help me get something to strengthen my combat power." "I'll keep an eye out," Ethan replied seriously. He needed time to think carefully before choosing something suitable to boost Ben's strength. Soon, everyone left the area. Whoosh! A black SUV slowly drove into the construction site, which had been reduced to scorched earth. The window lowered. Clad in silver armor, Forever King stared at the ruins with barely restrained fury. "Who keeps going against the Forever Night organization? Don't let me find you." One of the warriors asked cautiously. "Boss, could it be the Plumber Association?" "Impossible." Forever King rejected the idea instantly. "Those association cowards wouldn't be this ruthless. So I can rule them out completely. First, eliminate the wrong answer." Night fell. 12 a.m. Ethan rolled over in bed and continued sleeping, hugging the mechanical scabbard tightly. "I don't need to stay so tense anymore, waking up exactly at midnight to sign in. Sleeping while hugging the mechanical scabbard is the best feeling in the world." The night passed without incident. The next morning, Ethan woke up feeling refreshed and stretched lazily. Then his expression darkened slightly. "I shouldn't have overslept last night, damn it. Human inertia is way too hard to overcome." His discipline had been built through half a year of sign-ins. But just one sword of Bezel, plus a set of prototype tools, and it completely broke his routine. Sleeping in was just too tempting. Whatever. Sleeping in once in a while is fine. I'll count it as a reward. After comforting himself, Ethan silently thought. System, claim the Omnitrix template. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully claiming the Omnitrix template. The Omnitrix template obtained by the host is, Fate Watch. Fate Watch, a fusion of the Error Watch and the Love Watch. It possesses all Error aliens, including Alien X. It also retains Love Watch characteristics, such as protection mode, and the fact that every alien form is female and harbors affection toward the host. The only difference lies in how that affection is expressed. Holy shit! Ethan's expression instantly became colorful. There's actually an Omnitrix like this. System, I'll take it. He didn't hesitate for even a second. Error Watch plus Love Watch equals a group of powerful aliens completely obedient to him. Only an idiot would refuse. As for that last line, he didn't really care. Even if their expressions of love were intense, he could just refuse. What, were they going to force him? Whoosh! An Omnitrix appeared on Ethan's right wrist. The screen was pink, symbolizing the love watch. The strap was covered in jagged fangs, representing the error watch. This bizarre, mixed omnitrix locked itself tightly onto his wrist. Ethan smiled faintly. It feels wonderful. Click. He tapped the error watch's screen, rotating the dial to the Fate Alien X position. How about trying this one? Forget it. Let me check my template first. System. Host, Ethan. Physique, the ultimate individual among all Earthlings throughout history. Spirit, far beyond ordinary humans. Genes, Earthling genes, with resistance to alien DNA, ancient king DNA. Skills, comprehensive human combat techniques, firearm proficiency, prototype tool encyclopedia. Ability pool, original Omnitrix, max level edition, Love Watch, advanced edition. Reward points, 170. Looking at the panel, Ethan raised an eyebrow. I'm the most outstanding person in all of Earth's history. Ethan. The old broken car seems to have a problem. Come take a look. Ah, okay, Grandpa. I'm coming. Ethan snapped back to reality, closed the attribute panel, and quickly climbed out of the car. After fixing the old broken car, the group resumed their journey. Author's note. The fanfic Ben 10, daily check-in system activated. Part 1 is now fully completed. The entire story has been uploaded on Patreon as a dedicated collection. Books Ben 10, Chapters 1-132. Organized into 14 posts, with multiple chapters per post for easy binge reading. Link symbol patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. Thank you all for your continuous support and love for this story Blue Heart. Chapter 82, Chapter 81, I used the wrong watch for the first time. This alien style is completely wrong. Splash. The old, broken-down car drove steadily along the winding mountain road. Outside, a torrential downpour raged under pitch-black skies. Rainwater washed over the vehicle, streaking violently across the windows. Ethan leaned against the glass, staring at the oppressive darkness beyond, bored out of his mind. It's already night, looks like today's destined to end as a boring, rainy night. From a light drizzle in the morning to a full-blown storm by nightfall. Grandpa Max could only keep driving without stopping. Ethan didn't even get a chance to try the Fate watch. The regret hit him hard. Damn it! Ow, this is so annoying. My feet are itchy as hell. It must have been that bookworm who gave me athlete's foot. Ben sat nearby, scratching his feet furiously through his socks. Dead skin flakes spilled out and dropped onto the floor. Idiot! That's disgusting. Gwen pinched her nose in disgust. This is your punishment for never showering. Ben. Grandpa Max pulled out the first aid kit from the passenger seat, took out a spray bottle, and tossed it back. This is antifungal spray. Try it. You're the best, Grandpa. Ben immediately stripped off his socks and sprayed his battered feet generously. A pungent odor spread through the car. Aw shit. I even want Fate Alien X to wipe out this damn athlete's foot. Ethan's face turned green with disgust. Thanks to Ben, it felt like he was back in a male dorm room. Click. The Fate watch screen slowly rose from Ethan's wrist. An alien silhouette appeared. Ethan raised an eyebrow and looked ahead. Bang. 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 A blonde, chubby kid soaked by rain staggered onto the road, blocking the car. He turned his head toward the headlights and screamed in terror. They're coming, save me. His face was pale with fear, yet he froze in place. Fuck. This isn't your backyard, it's the road. Ethan swore without hesitation. This was the first time he'd seen someone this suicidal. Whoosh. He decisively tapped the Fate watch, selecting the alien recommended by it. A blood-pink flash burst forth. A female alien appeared. Fangs filled her mouth. Her appearance was extremely ugly. Yet her figure was slender, bamboo-like, and disturbingly agile. "Please save him." Ethan pointed at the kid in front of the car, his tone leaving no room for refusal. "I will complete my master's mission." Speed Woman, XLR8, pushed open the door and vanished in a blur. Whoosh! She instantly overtook the old car and grabbed the kid. But the rain-soaked road betrayed her balance. She lost control and rushed straight off the roadside, falling down the mountainside. "Oh no, Speed Woman!" Ethan grabbed the mechanical scabbard and rushed for the door. "Let's go together!" A green flash burst forth. XLR8 shot forward, shoved the door open, and grabbed Ethan. The two safely reached the roadside barrier. Bang! Bang! Speed Woman, clutching the kid, rolled violently toward the forest below. "I'll chase her!" XLR8's visor dropped as his wheels spun furiously. "Careful, you'll slip!" Ethan shouted, but XLR8 had already turned the rain-soaked slope into a racetrack. This level of terrain wouldn't stop him. Phew! Ethan exhaled and pulled out the mechanical scabbard. It transformed into a hoverboard. He stepped on it, gripping the Exua God sword, and charged downhill. "Catch them!" XLR8 sped ahead, extending his tail and hooking Speed Woman. But the momentum kept all of them sliding downward. Straight toward a tree. God slash! Ethan's eyes hardened. Lightning flashed as the divine sword cleaved the tree cleanly apart. The shattered trunk fell, forming a natural buffer. XLR8, Speed Woman, and the kid landed safely atop the logs. Done. The kid's eyes rolled back. He fainted. Ethan hovered above them and asked calmly. "Everyone all right?" "We're fine," XLR8 said, standing up. "Ethan, you're basically a humanoid alien hero now. What kind of bullshit compliment is that?" Ethan looked at Speed Woman. "Are you okay?" He wasn't part of the looks club. But seriously. Why were Fate Watch aliens so awkwardly wrong? "I'm fine," she said stiffly. "The mission is complete." Then she smiled awkwardly. "Next comes the serious business." "What serious business?" Ethan froze. "The great matter of procreation," she said solemnly. In that instant, 10,000 horses stampeded through Ethan's soul. He couldn't handle this. Cough cough. Ethan forced a laugh. "Haha, we'll talk about that later. There's still stuff to do. Listen." "What?" Speed Woman's eyes snapped wide open. Her expression twisted grotesquely. "I completed your mission. Everything is done. And you're saying you don't want to continue with serious business?" Blood vessels bulged violently in her eyes. Her voice became venomous. Gulp. XLR8 swallowed hard, took a step back. Then cautiously stepped forward again, grabbed the unconscious kid, and retreated. "I satisfied you," she snarled. "So you should satisfy me, shouldn't you?" She laughed madly. "Come on. I want to be with you, procreate, tear each other apart." She was completely unhinged. "Ethan, she's really not okay," XLR8 whispered. Ethan's brain went blank. "System. Explain what the Fate Watch actually means. This isn't power and love. This is madness and obsession. This isn't what I signed up for. You are mine." Speed Woman lunged through the air, claws slashing. "All right. I agree." Ethan shouted suddenly. "What?" She froze and landed. "You agree?" XLR8 stared in disbelief. "Ethan, are you really sacrificing yourself?" "I am your master," Ethan said calmly. "So I should take the initiative." He rolled up his sleeves, removed his jacket, and assumed a determined stance. "All right." Quick Flash Woman smiled sweetly and lay back in the grass. "You go first. But my counterattack will be fierce." That subtle eyebrow raise sent chills down Ethan's spine. Whoosh! He threw his jacket over her face, stepped forward, and slammed the sword of Bezel's hilt straight into her forehead. Bang! She collapsed instantly. Oh, so it was an ambush. XLR8 finally understood. Otherwise what? Ethan snapped. Were we supposed to fight a deranged woman with our lives? He bent down to pick up his jacket. And froze. Her eyes snapped open. A twisted smile spread across her face. So, is it my turn now? Cold sweat erupted across Ethan's body. Whoosh! Bang! XLR8 teleported in and smashed her forehead with his tail. This time, she finally passed out. Well done! Ethan and XLR8 high-fived. They exchanged a look. The Fate Watch was seriously fucked up. Author's note. The fanfic Ben 10, daily check-in system activated. Part 1 is now fully completed. The entire story has been uploaded on Patreon as a dedicated collection. Books Ben 10, Chapters 1-132. Organized into 14 posts, with multiple chapters per post for easy binge reading. Link symbol patreon.com/shadow_demon_007. Thank you all for your continuous support and love for this story Blue Heart. New chapter is coming soon. Write a review.